podcast is part of the Pod Syndicate family. For more criminally compelling shows, articles, and conversations, head to wearepodsyndicate.com.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to episode 321 of Film Bastards. And to those of you on the non-Patreon feed, welcome back after the little break you had. My name's Ian Loring, and as always, I'm joined by...
Becky Foster, hello everyone.
I'm Marc Foster, hello everybody.
And yes, hello indeed, one and all. On this week's show, we are going to be talking about the kind of anticipated, but also kind of feels like it almost went under the radar weirdly. Mike Flanagan's Dr. Sleep. Also, you'll get reviews of Terminator: Dark Fate and Dolemite Is My Name. So for the patrons, I'll probably just put Dark Fate in there as well, but just feel free to skip it because you would have had it last week. But yeah, Dolemite Is My Name I didn't include in the Terminator one, so just trying to get my head around all this now. I don't even know how long we talked about Dolemite Is My Name for, to be honest. I think it was about 10 minutes just sat there during Jordan's wedding reception, so it's probably not going to be the most in-depth review in the world, but you know.
Or coherent.
Probably not coherent either, to be fair. No, that's fair. That was recorded. I want to say that was probably recorded about 8 or 9 o'clock, and everybody was pretty fantastically well oiled at that point. So yeah. Well,
I was fake tanning at the time, so I'm not involved.
Is that what you were doing?
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I mean, it's not that obvious.
Well, I am a girl, so you have to do these kind of things.
I didn't think that was obvious in the slightest, but there we go. All right, fair enough. The more you know. So, what's been happening? What's been happening this week then? What news have we got? Has there been? Well, I suppose the last couple of weeks.
We're getting Ant-Man 3.
Yeah, we are, aren't we?
Yeah, which I'm fine with. It seems a little bit like that undecided movie they had scheduled. It was like they were going. It really was undecided. They couldn't decide which one to go with. So I get the feeling that they threw a load in a bag, and then went shook it, and then went, "Oh, Ant-Man, fair enough."
I mean,
Paul Rudd, though, isn't it? There's always an appeal with Paul Rudd.
But
he's a very likable.
And yeah, and do you know what? They've made a decent amount of money. The Ant-Man movies.
And they've not just fucked him off to Disney Plus either. Like they could have easily done a 6-8 episode limited series with the Ant-Man cast, but they seem to have faith that they just steadily make 500-600 million worldwide, and they're probably not the most expensive of the Marvel Studios films either. They just seem happy to go along with them.
Yeah, that's it. I wonder if streaming dynamics and stuff like that come into play here.
They're very, very easy watches. They don't require much like emotional investment or having to have seen a bunch of films previously. And
Yeah.
you know, I mean, like I'll be honest, if it was like a Tuesday night and it was what do I want to stick on, an Ant-Man film or Black Panther, I'd probably go, I just want to kind of veg out a bit. I'll have an Ant-Man.
I think there's an idea. I think that Ant-Man has a more generational appeal, if that makes any sense, where you're going to be able to get ages from about sort of 4 and upwards are going to get fun of Ant-Man. They feel more like Marvel's version of family movies.
Yeah. They're fun. They're fun movies. Whereas with a lot of the proper Marvel canon movies, you need that background, and they are quite heavy.
Yeah.
For essentially theme park ride movies.
Yeah, that I like Scorsese doubling down and Coppola joining. I mean, Coppola's comment was a bit.
But yeah, Coppola's was a bit like, oh, really? Did you need to weigh in on this? Really?
Coppola's was a bit like, fuck off. You haven't made a decent movie in 30 years. Get back in your fucking wine box.
Yeah, Scorsese's got he's got continued presence and weight when it comes to these kind of things.
To maintain that when Scorsese originally commented on it, what he said was
for me. Yeah.
And that is the bit everybody has chosen to completely ignore and go, he's saying they're not cinematic. So no, he's saying for me they're not cinematic.
From his point of view, they're not.
That's like when people say, oh, for me, Coldplay are a real rock band, right? Everybody would pretty much agree with that.
They're elevator music, aren't they?
That's it. But it's the same thing. It's just people have chosen to either go, oh, right, so I get to be on a side now, do I?
Everyone's so easily angered about everything, aren't they?
It's like, it felt a little bit. It's still, the fact that people are still talking about it is mental.
We're still talking about it.
Yeah.
Like right now.
No, but alright, the fact that people are still annoyed about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Coldplay should. He needs to back off.
His comment was too much. What did he say? They were like despicable or something.
Despicable was it? Yeah.
I mean that's too much.
You do feel like saying. Scorsese said he tried and they couldn't get on with it, right? I wonder if Coppola's watched a movie that has been released in the past 10 years.
Well, we were talking about this the other day, though, weren't we? If Scorsese sat down and watched the early Marvel movies, I can kind of see his point. They're not cinema. They are finding their way within creating a universe. The more modern films are fucking great, and they have gravity and
it's accumulated gravity though.
Yeah, it is. But like, if he sat down and watched Captain America, what were the ones that you said? Captain America, Iron Man 1, and
The Incredible Hulk.
And The Incredible Hulk. Then yeah, I could see how he would come away with that kind of thing and go, do you know, I don't need to invest any more of my time in this.
I think that people need to just
chill the fuck out.
What baffles me there is if you're an interviewer and you're sat down with Martin Scorsese, who is promoting The Irishman, and the first fucking question, or the key question you're going to ask him
is about the Marvel universe.
Is, oh, so what do you think about the DC universe then? It's like, oh, fuck off. Ask him about, you know, what was it like to finally get to make this movie? What was it like to be working with De Niro, Pacino, Keitel, and Pesci all at once?
Or even ask him about any of his past movies.
Yeah, it seems like it's very fucking Radio 1.
It's reductive, yeah.
It's the film journalism at the moment that we deserve for the shower of shite that is around.
Yeah, I mean, say what you I don't know. I mean, I think proper film journalism is still there. It just there's you know, I mean, I say it as someone who used to be a blogger. It's the blogger website clickbait nature of it all, which is the issue. But there is still proper film reporting and critiquing out there. And I don't think it's particularly hard to find either. I mean, YouTube is an absolute fucking trash fire for film commentary. And that seems to be kind of infecting Twitter and some of the more kind of clickbaity sites out there.
YouTube and Twitter are fucking terrible for it. You know,
Well, YouTube is where all the idiot children go for their opinions, isn't it?
they don't, yeah, because they don't. Some of them don't even watch the fucking movies. They'll watch everything you need to know about the Taxi Driver in 5 minutes. You know, that'll be made by some kid who has watched Taxi Driver twice in a week.
Well, I mean, it was quite telling. Obviously, we rewatched The Shining to go see Doctor Sleep, and we watched it with Isabel, didn't we? And she came out the other end of it like, I didn't like it. It wasn't for me, but I've read the book and this. And I think a lot of kids of her generation don't do that.
No.
So yeah, it's a bit. I think it's weird. It's a weirdly narrowed view that you get if you're just looking at what's online.
Yeah. It takes time to. I don't know. It takes time to read, and there's just so many distractions out there that it is difficult. But I mean, like, even I was reading Empire yesterday, and they had quite a good little on Scorsese's side, not on Scorsese's side kind of thing. And it was like, you know, it was like a 1-page thing, and both parties had valid points, but at least they're actually kind of trying to have that discussion instead of just shouting at you.
Yeah.
Even though, I mean, I say YouTube's a trash fire, but I mean, there's also some really good stuff. Some of the longer form film content on there, like Patrick Willems, I think his name is, Noel turned me on to him. And he does some really good, like 25 minute long video essays about films. But then again, I mean, like, I scrolled past a YouTube video earlier on that was called The Rock Is Your Daddy. And it was just like 10 minutes of how everyone's grown up with The Rock. So The Rock's your daddy. And it was just fuck off. I don't know. It's a mixed bag, like everything, isn't it?
And then you've got like YouTube channels where it's 7 things we don't like about the new Star Wars trailer. It's like, fuck, it's a fucking trailer.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, if you did 7 things we loved about the Star Wars trailer, it wouldn't get any views. You do 7 things we don't like, and you get thousands of views in comparison.
Well, like we used to really like the honest trailers.
They were fun, yeah.
Yeah, and they were fun, and they were a bit biting, but they were fun. Now they're just fucking mean and
they weren't mean
everything.
spirited.
They hate everything.
But yeah, now they're just people like mean about movies. Oh, we'll just shit talk everything.
So we just don't fucking watch them anymore.
Yeah, we'll basically take Twitter and we'll throw it into a 4-minute trailer.
And what was the last one we watched? I can't remember. It was a film that we both kind of liked, but were aware of flaws of, and we're like, oh, this one could be quite funny. And we just watched it, and it was like, oh, she's fucking bitching about the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, there are good elements to films.
I think what else happened in the news recently?
Joker might be on the way to $1 billion worldwide. 934 million after this weekend. Did 13 million in the US on week 5.
Which is mental when you consider Dark Fate did less than 25, was it?
I think it ended up on like 28 or something, but that thing was projected to be 30 to 40, which still wasn't great. And I think it's going to end up doing less than Genesis did, which is fucking awful. But
It was badly marketed, though.
It was heavily marketed, though.
But it was heavily marketed.
Yeah, I mean, the trailers were a complete fucking killjoy, weren't they? They were really mopey fucking experiences. And to be fair, that's kind of mirrored by the film. I know we said like the first half hour or so like has got some stuff in it, but I Arnie is always good value, but that film is quite mopey.
Yeah.
And as I said, which people will probably hear later on, and I stand by it, they were completely going on the we've got 3 female leads and they're diverse in age and race. Let's run with this, and didn't actually think to make an entertaining film.
Well,
I would love to see a fucking entertaining film with those 3 leads. I would fucking love to.
Yeah, I'd be perfect about that. It's just that wasn't it.
No, well, I mean, we were talking about it earlier, weren't we? It's just, it feels very tokenist.
There's a news thing that I'm sure that happened that we're completely missing.
Have a little think.
I will have a little think.
Well, Mark's thinking.
Staring at your guitars. So
It's helped me think.
should we do trailers?
Yeah,
now?
we can do trailers now. Yeah.
I don't think we talked about Rise of Skywalker, or at least recorded when we were away. I'm all about the new orchestration of the Star Wars theme, and I know it's not going to be in the film, and I really wish it was.
It seems to be this Star Wars one. It seems to be the meekest buzz of any of the returning Star Wars ones. It seems that even Star Wars fans are going, right, can we just get this over and done with, and then can we just come back to it in a couple of years' time?
Well, I don't know. I mean, do you think maybe that's because the last one was so badly received?
No,
that was news.
Which
Benioff and Weiss pulling out of their Star Wars trilogy.
Yeah. It does. It seems a little bit like Disney have acquired this property and have gone, bang, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this, and everyone's gone, oh, right, brilliant, Star Wars, and then people are going, it was all right when we had 3 movies. And then another 3 movies that we didn't like, and now we've got all these other movies. It just feels a little bit. I've got everyone's looking forward to The Mandalorian. I can't wait for all the fucking shit that we'll fucking get inevitably from people. But it does feel a little bit like nowadays buzz can sometimes just wear out for things.
Yeah.
People seem to be a bit wary of it now. And now Disney has sat on this thing going, right, the only problem is they will have financially budgeted for it with Star Wars World and everything like that, which only opened like earlier on this year, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
They'll have budgeted to go, right, one every at least 18 months for 10 years to keep this going, and it's taken 5 years for the buzz to kind of drop.
Well, they're saying this is the last one, aren't they?
Last one of this trilogy of this.
But they're not talking about another one.
Well,
it's the end of the Skywalker saga. Doesn't mean you can't have other films set in the universe.
Nobody's talking about that next trilogy. Nobody's kind of.
No, I mean, like with Solo doing so badly, they have had to reconfigure, and I think Bob Iger said, there's not going to be Star Wars on the big screen for a bit now. Rian Johnson's still kind of like in talks for the new trilogy, but it kind of feels like
it's not going to happen.
I don't think he's that invested anymore, to be fair. I mean, the poor guy got so fucking burned by people on The Last Jedi. And I mean, include shit, man. I mean, and I've said this before, after rewatching The Last Jedi, I regret how I was with that film. And it's like what effect did I have? None. But I was a voice out there that was, I'm pretty sure I said it was definitely not shit, but I was still fucking negging it.
Right.
And I shouldn't have. That film is really, really, really fucking interesting. It wasn't what I was expecting, and that fucked me up, and I need to take that in with me to The Rise of Skywalker, which, by the way, I bought a ticket for fucking 5:30 in the morning it opens. Yeah.
That's an issue. We've discussed something before.
Yeah.
It is, I think, what you're about to
Expectation
say.
versus reality.
Yeah, it is. I don't mean this for you, Ian, what I'm about to say. But the hardcore Star Wars fans had all predicted that X, Y, and Z was going to happen in The Last Jedi. And when Rian Johnson decided, you know what, I'm not going to do anything like that, they were angry that it wasn't the movie that they wanted it to be.
Good film.
But then basically decided, no, we should be able to control the property. With the Rian Johnson trilogy, what they will literally do is they'll give it 3 or 4 months after, after Rise of Skywalker has been out and everything like that, and then they'll quietly just sort of say, Rian Johnson has,
part of the franchise.
We're rather than putting that on the back burner, we're reassessing, and Rian Johnson's going off to do other things.
He's going to have a blank check after Knives Out as well. I think that film's going to do really, really, really well.
It looks fucking magnificent. I am so pumped for Knives Out.
Yeah, and it's
in a way that I have not, like, anyone else that I've kind of talked to that's seen the trailer. No one else is as excited about this as I am, but I am so fucking excited for it. It looks amazing. Even what's his face with his ropey southern accent, Daniel Craig. Even Daniel Craig with his ropey southern accent looks like it just fits perfectly.
I don't know.
I'm really psyched for that.
I just don't know what is it.
You Rian Johnson.
I really like Blues Bloom, and I really liked Brick. I couldn't get on with Looper.
I can understand that.
And I had issues with a lot of Star Wars, but a lot of it also there were some fantastic shots in that as well.
As someone who hates Star Wars, you actually quite
hate Star Wars.
All right, as a franchise, as a body, you're not.
I'm not invested in it. No,
but you really quite like the more recent ones.
Yeah, but honestly, the thought of watching any of them again.
You look at Noel though. It's like he'd say himself not a massive Star Wars guy. And his interest in Star Wars was completely fucking like reinvigorated by The Last Jedi, because he thought it was like just an interesting, daring piece of work. And now with Rise of Skywalker, there's the question of like, is Abrams going to reset things? Is it going to turn out that Rey's parentage actually is important? Because obviously they were fucking leading to something with The Force Awakens. And it just the fact that Abrams was parachuted in, because it was going to be Trevorrow. I mean, just to say as well, like the amount of production problems there have been on these fucking films, and it's incredible when you think of like Kevin Feige, how he's marshaled the Marvel Studios films, and Kathleen Kennedy. I mean, a lot of trolls hate Kathleen Kennedy. I haven't got a problem with Kathleen Kennedy in the slightest. Her producing record is fucking second to none. But it's just like the fucking the fact that it kind of feels like the reins are so much tighter on Star Wars than they are on the Marvel films, and just why.
I think that's because Feige had a control over them from the start. I think that is a difference. I think they're so particular and they're so protective over the Star Wars brand. It is so valuable to them.
It is, but if they can't take it in any new directions, it's just going to stagnate and die.
I will say this. There is not a fucking chance this is the last Skywalker.
No, and there's not a fucking chance that Rey is not a Skywalker.
Yeah.
Because they've looked at that version and gone, oh, no, Rian Johnson. that is not how Rey's parentage is going to run. It's just like they're just some fucking randoms. And he happens to have the Force.
But they must have given him the go-ahead with it. What is it?
But that's what the whole of The Last Jedi is about, though. About the fact that anyone can be a great thing regardless of where they came from. You look at the like that last John Lewis ad bit at the end of fucking Last Jedi, where it's the kid sweeping and then he does the little Force thing, and it's. Shut that, like, seriously.
It's going to turn out he's a fucking Skywalker as well.
Yeah, but it's not going to be a Star Wars. It's not going to be a Sky. It's going to be there's no more Jedis. There are Skywalkers. It's gonna be that is going to be the new Jedi.
Yeah.
It's going to be a more. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ! Like Yoda basically sets fire to all the Jedi folklore and stuff in Last Jedi. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ! Last Jedi is ballsy. But
I need to watch Last Jedi.
Yeah, you do actually. Yeah, it's really good.
I don't wanna, but I need to.
You do need to. Yeah, it's really good. But I don't think Disney will allow it to be that she's just a no one.
And that throne room scene fucking bangs. Like if the red guards in the fucking red room and Rey and Kylo Ren fucking attacking. Do you know the bit I'm talking about?
Yes. Yeah.
Like Jesus Christ, like that. It's there's some really all-round impressive filmmaking. It's just the fact that the concept of being put on hold would not exist in the Star Wars universe. Like that's
doesn't it?
Smallest hill on which I will die.
I mean, if they've conquered space travel, I would think they've conquered putting people on hold. Ian. Bloodshot.
And just on the hold. Yeah, Bloodshot. Sure, why not? Comes out in like January or February. I'll watch something like this in January or February quite happily. Why the fuck not?
Yeah, it does.
I've not watched that one.
Yes, you have watched that one.
I don't remember it.
That doesn't mean to say you haven't watched it.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, I'm pretty much sold on anything that says because he's a friend of the show, Vin Diesel is or Vin Diesel in. It's pretty much right. Yeah, fuck it, fine doing that.
Yep, agreed.
Yeah. What else we got trailer wise? Oh, The Grudge.
Comes out like the first weekend of January, so you know it's going to be good.
It's a cast, though, isn't it?
It's a fucking cast.
Yeah, we started watching this trailer and I was like, really? Do we need another Grudge, really? But like looking at the cast and actually watching the trailer, it looks really fucking good.
Yeah, I mean that's
I'm really on board with this actually.
You've got Andrea Riseborough, Lynn Shay, John Cho, William Sadler, Jackie Weaver, Damien Bashir, a lot of white people.
I mean, they all look the same.
They do. A lot of them.
It feels like a step up when the first American remake, wasn't it Sarah Michelle Gellar?
Yeah.
And that fucking guy from Roswell, I want to say.
It's horrible. Is the first American remake,
and it was directed by Shimizu, wasn't it? But didn't he direct the remake as well?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Because and it's just pointless. I mean, the thing is with this one, I don't know. At least they're doing something different with it.
It feels like it's got something of its own to say. Mm-hmm. Whereas the other one doesn't.
I mean, co-written and directed by the guy who did Piercing, which I wasn't massive on, but that guy's got an interesting eye, and it kind of feels like, I don't know, unless he did just want an easy Hollywood win, why would he decide to co-write and direct this? So, why not? I want to go back and check out Rings as well. I never got around to watching that, and the fucking guy from Big Bang Theory is in that, which is fascinating. Like Rings, I swear the trailer there was a bit where like the tape got on a plane or some shit, and it's like I kind of want to see what is up with that. Yeah, I don't know. There's been a lot of Grudge films. I mean, And there was that fucking Sadako versus the Ring versus the Grudge thing that
You just ignore that one though.
I fucking watched that. I think I might have reviewed it for someone. And at the end of that, it was like there was a reveal that they'd merged, like Sadako and Samara had merged. So now it was kind of like a Grudge Ring monster. And yeah, that was a weird film. The thing is, I mean, like I say, this is coming out in like a prestige-y time of year. Where it's, I don't know, even though it's odd, I was going to say it'll be refreshing, but The Gentleman comes out on New Year's Day, and that's going to be refreshing enough. And then like a few days later, you're going to get The Grudge.
They've put The Grudge back, I think.
I know it's coming out in America the first week of January. Maybe it's been pushed back over here.
It's a Jan here.
31st.
Yeah.
Brexit Day.
Oh, fuck off.
Racking. All right. Well, I mean, like the hard drives would have successfully navigated their way here pre-Brexit, so don't worry, we will see The Grudge.
Okay, amazing.
Just thinking that we're only about 6 or 7 weeks away from Cats. That's good.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's good. I'm going to enjoy the fuck out of that.
Best horror film of 2019.
Yeah. I'm in.
What else we got trailers wise? I think that's it, really. Can't think of anything else.
Cool. Let's run with that then. So.
Are you tired of film podcasts where the hosts exist in a constant blissful state of agreement?
I mean, the main characters are two of the dullest main characters I have ever encountered in any film.
Well, you're in luck. Let me introduce you to Chinstroker and Punter. One is an ex-film student with a penchant for David Lynch and art cinema. The other is a man on the street. Listen in perplexed and horrified terror as we tear apart one film a week.
It just really
It's not visually striking.
No.
Just getting confirmation.
It's just that's the third time though. I mean, is this on?
You can find us at csvsp.libsyn.com. So come and share the victory.
If you could fuck any man in film, who would it be and why?
My answer is Lance Henriksen.
Oh!
He wouldn't tell. He looks like somebody. He looks like somebody who can keep a secret.
Mike Flanagan's Stephen King's Doctor Sleep, directed by Mike Flanagan, starring Ewan McGregor, Rebecca Ferguson. Haven't got the cast list up, but the girl who plays Abra, I want to say Kaylee something. Let me load that up.
Kaylee Curran.
Thank you very much. Cliff Curtis, Sunshine's Cliff Curtis, always good to see him. Bruce Greenwood in a small role. And others. The tall guy from Twin Peaks, wasn't he?
Yep. Yes.
Yeah, nice.
Henry Thomas was in there as well.
Oh, yep. Yes, Henry Thomas is indeed in there. All spoilers all the time, and if you're at all interested in Doctor Sleep, and I realise it comes out in the US next week, so all spoilers all the time. Sorry.
We got it first.
Yes.
That's very exciting.
Happens quite a lot.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that they didn't bother releasing it in the US kind of ready for Halloween. I know Terminator Dark Fate had that spot pegged, but yeah, that was odd.
It's a tentpole horror release.
It's an odd one though, because it kind of came out of nowhere on making Doctor Sleep, which essentially is a sequel to Shining. But it wasn't even making it; it was just that we made it, and it kind of people didn't kind of notice that they were making essentially a Shining sequel.
No, I mean the book came out a few years back, and I don't know, it didn't necessarily seem like it made too much of a dent pop culturally, but the overwhelming success of it, Chapter 1 a couple years back, I think basically just put everybody on high alert to try and adapt as much Stephen King stuff as humanly possible, which is how you get In the Tall Grass, which I don't think I talked about because did you guys say you were going to watch it?
Yeah, we were. We haven't yet.
Okay, yeah. Come for the grass, stay for Patrick Wilson's hammy as fuck performance. Sorry, Bex.
I was just saying that's one that he wrote with his son.
Yeah, that's right, Joe Hill. Yeah. So I mean, I don't think we would have had Doctor Sleep if Chapter 1 wasn't as successful as it was.
There's a what is it? Yeah.
There's a renaissance with Stephen King adaptations, but Doctor Sleep is actually a really fantastic book.
Donna liked it as well. It's a shame she wants to see Doctor Sleep, but I needed to see it for review, and she's had a busy weekend, and I just was able to squeeze it in on Thursday. So she's going to go and see it with some friends in a couple of weeks' time. But I would have liked to have seen it with her. But anyway, Doctor Sleep picks up. It starts in 1980 with the introduction of Rose the Hat, played by Rebecca Ferguson, and her crew. They are kind of almost like undead creatures who suck the shine out of kids, basically. And
it's called Steam.
Yeah, they call it Steam. Yes, yeah. Also, this film also stars Jacob Tremblay. And man, if you ever thought that kid from The Room, I really wish I could see him get violently murdered. You're in for a treat.
That's probably why it's like Marc nib for you.
Yeah.
Is that why it's like so high in your estimation because you hate that kid so much?
We did, we'll get onto that because we did actually have a conversation about that specific scene where you were quite horrified at my reaction to it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got to say, I wonder if Mike Flanagan was a bit like, I was really fucking annoyed by him in Room. I wonder if I could cast him just because he gets really violently murdered in this film.
He was in one of Mike Flanagan's previous movies.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Oh shit, that's right. He was the kid in
Before I Work, is it?
Yeah.
Because the little girl at the start, Violet, she's in The Haunting of Hill House.
Yeah, he works with old people.
So he just kind of wraps people in, doesn't he?
Yeah. Thomas.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no.
I'm Bruce Greenwood.
I need to fucking watch The Haunting of Hill House. I swear.
Really fucking do. Have you not seen it?
We're not getting a fucking conversation about fucking Haunting of Hill House. It's a fucking TV show.
No, we can have an aside, Mark.
I've not seen it. I already liked Flanagan's work anyway, and this has just kind of propelled me even more. I will pick up on The Haunting of Hill House.
You really need to watch it before the next one comes out. The next series is based on The Turning of the Screw, but this one is based, obviously, it's really good from my point of view, looking at it as Doctor Sleep is an adaptation of the book, but he has to pivot because of certain things. Having watched The Haunting of Hill House, it gave me a lot of confidence going into it because it's not a direct adaptation of the book that series is based on. So it's very kind of decisive evidence that he's got this. Like it's in safe hands.
Yeah.
Because couldn't do a direct adaptation of Doctor Sleep, the book, because he's basically adapting the book whilst also trying to create a sequel to the first book, whilst also trying to create a sequel to the first film. And the first book and the first film don't marry up at all. There's a lot of changes.
Yeah.
With Kubrick's film, there's a lot of artistic license that has been taken, and Flanagan does a really fucking good job of just making something that fits all those boxes.
There's isn't there an episode of Haunting of Hill House which is literally one shot as well?
Yeah.
Fuck man, yeah. I'm gonna. Yeah, nice.
It's fantastic. Watch it. Nice,
I will. But yes, as Mark said, I can kind of like silently hear him seething in the background.
He's sat like literally. I'd send you a picture, but he is sat right back against the rear of the sofa with his arms crossed, with a really grumpy look on his face.
And to be fair, if it was like, I would probably be the same. So yes, let's move on. So it then cuts to the earlier this decade. Danny Torrance is an alcoholic. who kind of moves to a new town and befriends a gentleman played by Cliff Curtis, and he starts to turn his life around. This is also tied in with the life of a girl, Abra, who has shine or steam or whatever you want to call it, and their lives kind of intersect while Rose the Hat kind of learns of her existence. So Bex, let's start with you as the Stephen King correspondent of the show. Dr. Sleep, the film. What were your thoughts?
I honestly really, really loved it. I think like I said to you before, Mike Flanagan had a lot of boxes to have to tick to make this work, and as a direct adaptation of the book, I mean, it's not. It isn't a direct adaptation because he had to make certain changes in the book of The Shining. Obviously, the Overlook gets destroyed, so they couldn't have gone back to the Overlook to do that final sort of scene set up. But in the film, it doesn't, so they could. So that's a real opportunity to kind of use that imagery, and he does it really, really well. The performance of Ewan McGregor as Danny he's really fucking good. Like really, really fucking good as Danny. And Abra is brilliant. Rebecca Ferguson as Rose the Hat is the creepiest fucking baddie ever. And I honestly didn't expect for it to at any point kind of trouble me. Like I watch a lot of horror movies and they don't really bother me a lot of the time, but the scene where Jacob Tremblay is getting like tortured and stuff to make his steam more potent, which you really enjoyed because you're a fucking sick dog.
No.
Anyway, you'll get your moment.
No, because
no. That really bothered me when I was watching it. It was like it was really uncomfortable, but I didn't expect it from the film. I didn't expect them to carry that through. So I think they've done really, really, really well as an adaptation, as a sequel, and as a sequel to The Shining. So yeah, I think he's done a perfect job with it, which I hoped for but didn't expect.
Nice. Mark.
I think Mike Flanagan has massive balls. And at points during this film, he literally, if you were to have picture in picture, there would be points in this movie where one picture would be the film that's going on and the other picture would just be Mike Flanagan's massive balls. Because he's gone, right, the reason why previously Stephen King adaptations haven't worked is because nobody's had the balls to do what in a book makes sense but visually could seem hokey or a little bit too out there. Whereas Mike Flanagan goes, do you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna show this because if you're not on board, so what? And if you're not on board and I haven't got you, then I don't care if you're not going to be, if you're going to think that is a little bit silly or anything like that. Because if you are on board, you're going to go, all right, fuck yeah, all right. Rebecca Ferguson, Rose the Hat, is flying through fucking space. Brilliant. This is fucking great.
She's going to track this kid by looking out the window and looking at the star configuration. Yeah. Fine.
And they're going, yeah, fine with that. Fine with every fucking second of that. And, I mean, I'll be honest, this film pretty much had me when its opening scene is Rebecca Ferguson sat doing magic, wearing a hat. It's like, yep, fine with this. Fucking try and lose me.
Sat with her ropey hair and her Irish accent. You were on board.
I was sat back going, yep, this is fucking all gold for me.
Tell the people your thoughts on Jacob Tremblay's death.
Right. I will talk about the rest of the movie, but I will. You had your chance. Right. All I was saying to Becky was, these are to the what they call again,
The true knot.
The true knot. To them, Jacob Tremblay isn't a little boy. He's food.
Food.
Literally, they describe him as food. I'm not pulling that out of what is it. That he's food. Now, so he's not a person to them. He is literally like a dead cow. They need to strip it away and they need to get all of that nourishment they can out of it. If the best way that they can do to get that is to make him scared and make him frightened and put him in pain, it just makes sense that they would do all of those things. So logically, it didn't bother me because I could logicize why they were doing it.
So say you're obviously we're meat eaters.
Yes.
Yes. So say someone said to you, "Oh, pigs actually taste better. Like their flesh tastes better if they're in mortal fucking peril and terrified when they die. Like a certain acid is released."
I just wouldn't eat pig then. I wouldn't agree with that.
Right.
But I'm not saying.
You agree with them doing it?
No,
little children.
I'm not saying I agree with them. What I'm saying
little
is.
Adorable children that look like Jacob Tremblay.
I can see why they did it, and therefore I don't have a problem from their point of view as to why they did it, because it just made sense.
No. I get that. I mean, in the end of the day, it seems to be that it's more effective if not necessarily it tastes better, even though they seem to get off on it. It's more it's more potent. It's more effective stuff if the kids are scared.
Yeah, it just made sense. What I would say there is, if my life depended on it and I had to scare the shit out of a fucking pig, right? Then fuck yeah, I would dress as a fucking butcher and run it around a fucking abattoir.
That's horrific.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, they are in kind of fairly dire straits at that point as well, aren't they? It's like they are struggling. They're saying that there's not much steam in the world anymore, and
for child murderers when there's not as many shiny children. Yeah.
Right, but
I don't think that's the point he's making, Bex. I think you're fucking willfully trolling him at this point.
Yeah.
It's funny, you don't get to watch him.
I know, I bet it's funny, to be fair.
I really, really, really liked it. It was a lot darker than I expected it to be. Yeah. It's because all cards on the table, I'm not the biggest Shining fan. I don't dislike or anything like that. It doesn't click with me like clicks with a lot of other people. And this is fucking dark at points. You know, Hugh McGregor literally leaves a kid with its dead mother.
Well, that's in the book.
Yeah, but
that's his scared straight moment.
Yeah, but I'm saying that you get that in this film. You get the scene of them literally torturing and eating the torture of a child, and then later on we get Cliff Curtis and Hugh McGregor throwing up because they've not buried him deep enough because they just don't give a shit. But within all that, you also get a lot of playfulness within it, a lot of magic that doesn't come across in The Shining.
Yeah.
There's that. There's peril within it. There's so much. It's 2.5 hours long as well. Which, before we went in, I was a bit like, that's a long time.
Don't feel it.
But I never got that from it. I felt the drama of going back to the Overlook was really fucking cool. I thought character-wise it was fascinating.
Yeah, definitely.
Ian, what were your thoughts though?
Yeah, I mean, when my only kind of major criticism that I can think of is, the woman they got to play Shelley Duvall doesn't really look like Shelley Duvall. The kid they got to play Danny Lloyd doesn't look like Danny Lloyd. Henry Thomas doing a Jack Nicholson impression. I think I'm just going to have to go with this. it is my biggest like peeve, then I think it's a success. I mean, the fact that they've been like Flanagan's been able to spin the plates he had to spin with this fucker and make it work. I mean, it's Abra's story and it's Danny's story, and it feels like there's equal weight there. I just the sense of closure. Even earlier on in the film than the scene with the bartender, but where he's giving the speech in AA and saying like, he's been sober for 8 years and this is for Jack Torrance, and it's like, because he was here trying to get well, in my place. I thought that speech was really stood out to me, and the fact that it's a film that's got some really good horror moments in it, but also stands out because of that kind of scene, I think is testament to how good a job Flanagan's done here. I mean, I
humanized it, hasn't he? Like with because when Doctor Sleep the book came out, I reread The Shining beforehand, and there's Jack's a lot more human in the book than he ever is in the movie. I think that's what the movie loses a lot of people that are fans of the book on, is that he's always a bit of a dick in the film. He starts as a bit of a dick, whereas in the book he has these flaws in his character that he's fighting against, and then the hotel, when it can't get Danny because Danny's too strong, it preys on Jack and it preys on his weaknesses, and he succumbs to them. But you kind of feel that with him. You feel his fight against it, whereas you don't get that with the film. He's just always a bit of a dick, and he's made worse by being on his own.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the film basic, because I mean, I've read The Shining as well. It is actually a Stephen King book I have read, and I mean, I agree with what you're saying there. But with the film, it's almost like it's just lurking in him, waiting to be activated, and it's almost like the hotel gives him an excuse. I mean, it's so I watched the longer edit earlier in the week, and I swear it must only be like 45-50 minutes in when you've got that shot of him looking out of the window at them with that fucking look on his face, when he's got like that black kind of polo necky jumper on.
Yeah, it's very quick, isn't it?
It's really not that far into the film that he's already at that place. And I mean, there are flashes, the when he's having that dream and he wakes up and he's like, I had this horrible dream, and it kind of feels like that's almost like a moment of lucidity that you get in alcoholics. But it does just feel like he never really successfully got that monkey off of his back, and the Overlook just switches that on. So I mean, I don't have that much of a problem with it in the film, but I'm very, very in the tank for The Shining as it is. So that might just be my perspective on it as well. But yeah, the fact that with this, Danny's a three-dimensional character. He's a guy who wants to get better. He finds people around him that he's able to get, like, where he's able to get better. And through the film, he realizes though that he does kind of like have a life debt that needs repaying. And that ending is, just where it turns into him as a little kid with his mum in the hotel. I mean, it's like quite beautiful, but it's really fucking haunting as well. And that it feels very Flanagan-y, that shot, I must say.
Yeah, it is. There's that kind of. He's definitely got a style about him.
I like the fact as well that they've used, because I was reading something with Flanagan the other day before we watched the film, and it's like, we wanted to use the original book ending that Kubrick never used to end Doctor Sleep, and the exploding and the burning up of the Overlook Hotel. It's nice that he's done that. It's like he's gone Okay, well, there's these really good bits that have been written that haven't been used, and they're probably better than the ending of this. And we have to change the ending of this anyway because the Overlook was destroyed, blah, blah, blah. So let's just do that. So, like, the bit where he's talking to Abra about, and he regains control of himself and tells her to get out, that's from The Shining. And the Overlook blowing up, that's from The Shining.
I just think that if you were to have said to people a couple of years ago, oh, they're going to make a Shining remake, a Shining sequel, and it's going to be really quite fucking good, I think most people would have gone, nah, it won't. But it really is. But it's also, it works. I don't think you could watch Doctor Sleep having no knowledge of The Shining.
No.
Or not
no.
seen The Shining.
No.
It very much is a sequel to The Shining, which I think is great for it. I think that what will happen is some people won't, because it's not called The Shining 2.
Yeah.
People will go into it having not seen The Shining.
I'd actually love to get like a take from someone that hasn't seen The Shining that watched it and see
I
what their fucking thoughts on it are.
I think that the runtime would be too long. I think that all that. I'm very glad that we rewatched The Shining before it.
Yeah.
Because I could go, all right, yeah, I get this, I get all this, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's all that. There's not too much exposition.
No.
You know, the fact that you've got Scatman Crothers Mark II is there. They don't go, oh, but how are you here? You're dead. Well, us who have the shine, we don't die. You don't get any of that. It just goes,
there, yeah.
it just goes, well, he's there.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
And you have to remember that he's actually died and go, oh, okay.
I thought, wait a minute. He did die,
Maybe he
didn't
didn't die.
There wasn't a bit where he was pulled out in an ambulance and they went, oh, the axe in his chest. No, the axe in his chest. Of course he fucking died.
Well, the thing is, again, like going back to what we were saying, that's a really good thing that Mike Flanagan's done is because Halloran doesn't die in the book.
Yeah, but in the film
and he is
does.
in Doctor Sleep.
Yeah.
As an alive person, and then he dies, and then he's there as a ghost. But in this, he's just there as a ghost.
Yeah, but I just think it's.
I think it's quite ballsy having Danny die as well.
Yeah, Mike Flanagan's next thing he's going to do is going to be the turning the screw. Right, and I don't want to talk about that. But it's mental that he literally is doing that thing that few creators do, where he's going, right, I have got a chance, I am going to fucking take, what is it? I'm going to take it, and I'm going to go for it. Because he must have looked at this and gone, because there's clearly a budget behind this. The right amount of budget.
Yeah.
There's not a blank check, but there's a right amount of budget. And he's gone, right, I'm going to make my version of Doctor Sleep whilst also doing this. I'm going to use the fact that Stephen King is a friend to kind of go, right, I'm going to do this. But I don't think he was doing any of it to placate King. And King was basically, I'd actually said, he came to me and said, what do you think about this and this and this? But at no point did he ask for my permission to do it or anything like that. It was very much, I'm going to do this, this and this.
I think it probably helped as well that Stephen King is a very well publicised fan of The Haunting of Hill House.
And he also is a fan of Mike Flanagan's other work.
Yeah.
There's that. But it's just, he's such an interesting filmmaker. Some of the visuals in this are fantastic.
Oh God, yeah, yeah.
And
even
again,
the fact that
ballsy.
The blood coming out of the elevator. So this was when I was reading about it the other day. They said with certain things they recreated physically sex, but with the blood out of the elevator they had to do it CGI because with the best one in the world they could do it 100 times and never get it to look the same way as they did on the Kubrick one.
Yeah.
So they did it CGI, but they altered the angle because in The Shining it was from Danny's point of view, who is significantly shorter than Rose.
Yeah.
So they just did it. But
Oh
they
my
altered the
fucking
angle.
god! Her look when she starts looking at the
And she's just
elevators,
like, fucking
and she's
blood
looking at it just
over
going,
there.
and the blood coming out of it, and
It's just smiles.
and she's looking
doesn't
like
she?
going, right, I want to live here. This is great. This is fantastic. At that point, I was watching it going, I'd live there with her, happily.
You were actually saying, weren't you, that when she's inviting Danny to like join the
Fuck
team,
yeah! I was thinking, why is he saying no?
I do like the fact that she says a couple of times, like, "You're handsome. How did we miss you?" Like, she really wants to bang Danny Torrance
she's
as
literally
well.
She's thirsty for Danny
Yeah,
Torrance.
she's thirsty for his shine and everything. I was watching it going, oh my god, right, just go.
All right.
So,
Yeah. Put
so
back in.
I'm gonna get off to go you. We're gonna go off, pretty much live forever as long as we eat well and everything like that. All I've got to do is go and kill that fucking kid that already trusts me. Yeah, I will channel some inner my Popper and go murder this little fucking bitch.
Jesus Christ, Mark.
You're a terrible man, Mark.
I don't think I am.
I mean,
Did you see the hat?
I did see that.
I'm fine with
I
that.
also enjoyed
Oh, Bex, he's totally going to make you get a top hat. Just get ready.
What's that?
He's totally going to make you get a top hat.
I look really good in hats, so it's alright. I'm alright.
It was her. I liked her whole character in the fact that she's
fucking
unmitigated
great. She is.
evil as well.
She is like from the reading of the book to the embodiment of the character in the film, from everything, she is fucking great as Rose.
But even when she's in the, we get a bit where Rose the Hat is shopping. She's fucking shopping. She's just doing the groceries.
Yeah. She still looks banging though.
Right? And then the fridge explodes and she's looking at it and she's not afraid of that. She's like, holy shit, this is awesome.
And someone comes over to help her and she's like, fucking fine.
Fucking fine, leave my fucking hat alone,
Leave me
bitch.
alone.
I am not beyond cutting a fucking normal. Yeah, it's top 10 of the year for me.
Yeah, I'm actually there as well.
And I can't wait to see it again. I was so shocked at how much I liked this movie. Its whole aesthetic, its pacing, its timing. There was bits that literally had me going, fucking hell! In it, the bit where the room shakes and red rum murder is imprinted in the blackboard. I like the fact that is literally, it's done exactly the same as it is on the front cover of the book.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool. The
Yeah.
fact that they've pulled directly from that imagery is really cool. And I was like, I literally went, fucking hell, at that. And there was a few other moments that had me jump a little bit.
I'll also, terrific cheap jump scare in the Overlook when those lights go on and it makes that noise.
Yeah.
That was like, because that got a lot of my audience, and it was like, do you know what, Flanagan? You've earned that. Have your fucking cheap jump scare that kind of doesn't make sense. Go on.
But then again, it's always the thing. A jump scare. The reason why people don't like jump scares is they don't like the fact that they got. People don't like the fact that they got. A good jump scare. Is a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
and I fucking scared so easy. What is it? I am one of the most susceptible fucking people in a cinema or at home to a fucking jump scare. You might have the worst fucking timed one, and one where it just doesn't work, and I'll still go like that. You will get me 1,000,000 times every time.
Do you know what my favourite one still is?
What?
What's that one with
Because it's wrong unless you're gonna say a certain one.
Uma Thurman's ex-husband, Ethan Hawke.
Yeah.
What's that film that
Sinister.
Yeah, the bit where the girl's behind him.
Yeah, you're wrong. It's a good one, but it's not The Exorcist 3, which is the best jump scare of all time.
Yeah, the Exorcist 3 is the best jump scare of all time.
It just is.
Does it count if it's in a trash film?
It's not a trash film, and yes, it can.
Yeah, you're wrong.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
McGregor's great. It's nice to get Ewan McGregor back in form.
Yeah, and not just being Ewan McGregor is in something.
Yeah.
Like Ewan McGregor being a character and actually embodying something. Like it felt like an important role for him.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a heck. I really am just bowled over by how immersive it is and how it just grabs you and just goes, right, this isn't. Don't try and this isn't a normal sense. You need to be on board with this because we're not gonna spoon feed it to you.
Yeah.
We're not gonna try and tone it down. We're gonna go full fucking out with it, and we don't give a shit about the realities of the real world within it.
I was shocked at how brutal it was at points. I have to say.
I loved it. I even enjoyed the fact that there's a lot of nods to The Shining. There's a lot of bits of it within that. I thought that was quite good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
sure.
the story is similar to the book as they could, whilst working around the fact that the film was as different as it was to the original book. So,
but I mean, in terms of
he spun those plates really well.
Yeah, in terms of having even ballsy having the opening that it's got with Danny riding around on the what is it and stuff like that. It's just I'm really looking forward to filmically what he's gonna do next, and whether or not he just sticks within the horror genre.
I think he should. He's very good.
I'd be fine with him doing it, but it feels a little bit like Carpenter when he was in his fucking groove. Not in terms of stylistically or the way it looks or anything like that, but it's just confidence in what he's doing and pulling it off with just a level of filmmaking and knowing. I mean, I think he wrote, directed, and edited this as well. So he's he covers all those bases for that, and it works so well. It's just we often have new fucking heroes of horror that always come out, and often they're they're people who've directed a flashy movie or this is the hot horror of this fucking quarter. It's the fucking director of It Follows or something like that, or it's Ari Aster, who I still don't even know if he makes horror movies or comedies. It's that, but then Flanagan's kind of like been ticking along for like the past few years, just making fucking really good shit.
And again, I know it's gone under your radar, TV, but the Haunted Hill House, the sustained level of creepiness, even just within that TV show. And I was saying to you earlier, the fact that it loops back around and shows you the same event 3 or 4 times, but from different people's points of view and with different levels of knowledge of what's gone on in the past. And you look at it and go, oh, right, okay, that makes more sense this time, every time. And it's just really clever. He's really clever at crafting his stories.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, it's a big definitely not shit for me.
Yeah, huge, definitely not shit.
Yeah, it will. I'll be very surprised if this isn't in my top 10 of the year at the end of the year.
Yeah, Bex?
Oh yeah, definitely not shit. Definitely not shit.
Cool.
It was. I was already expecting to like it. I was surprised how good it was when I actually went to see it.
Audience vote, definitely not shit, 67%, touching cloth 33%. I think it's one of those movies. I will say it's one of those movies. I think where if it doesn't grab you or you're not grabbed by it, I think the fact that it's quite long could play out from that.
And I think it depends on what proportion of source material you've read/watched. I think you'll get most out of it if you've read both books and watched the Shining movie.
Well, I haven't read the sequel to The Shining.
Read The Shining,
I read The Shining, yeah.
But I think
again,
that's where you get most
like Ian, that's one of the few Stephen King books that I've read.
Yeah.
But if you've just watched the film and then watched the sequel, I don't think you'd get as much out of it as if you'd read the books as well.
So I've got the poll results. 67% definitely not shit. 33% touching cloth.
You like the 1980s, don't you? Of course you do. We all do. But have you ever wondered why that decade was the way it was? Have you ever wished there was somewhere you could go to get past the usual day-glow sentimentality? To try and understand 1980s pop culture in a more social, political and historical context? Because if so, it sounds to me like you're ready to go beyond the aesthetics, beyond the nostalgia. Welcome to Beyond the Neon. Beyond the Neon is the podcast that dares to pull over the Testarossa, eject the Wham cassette and take off the Wayfarers. If you're looking for retro reviews of Back to the Future, The Goonies or John Hughes movies, you will not find that here. If you're looking for top 10 lists of A-Team episodes, Nintendo games or Stranger Things references, you will not find that here. If you're looking for long boring introductions, Squarespace ads or Patreon begging, you will not find that here. Because Beyond the Neon, we do things a little differently. In each documentary-style episode, I look at one area of 1980s popular culture and break it right down. And each episode features academic insight, guest contributions and interviews, as well as clips plumbed from the depths of the 1980s cultural void. Well, YouTube, mainly YouTube, to help illustrate the wonderful, perplexing, terrifying, joyous and utterly thrilling world of 1980s pop culture. Beyond the Neon might not be as regular as other 1980s podcasts, but that's because Beyond the Neon isn't like other 1980s podcasts. Subscribe to the show today and check out all past episodes by visiting beyondtheneon.co.uk.
Have you ever wondered what so-called family films will scar your kids forever?
Putting 4 and 5-year-olds in front of this movie, it's like, if they didn't know what death was before this, they're going to know it after it.
They're going to know it after it, and they're going to be freaking terrified.
And they're going to be questioning you.
Yeah.
Or do you have the slight suspicion that your loved one has a cold, dead heart?
Yeah, the Dark Knight has got like all the orphans, and like, oh no, we're going to die. They did not build up those orphans at all. In my head, it's like, kill them.
Then look no further. The His Film Her Movie podcast is the show for you. It's the movie podcast that celebrates the contrasting cinematic tastes of its hosts. So join Jordan and Lauren every week on their unique journey through the land of the silver screen. So if you're looking for a few laughs, some fun film related chat, then get involved. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Dolemite is my name, and fucking on motherfuckers is my game. Directed by Craig Brewer.
Dolemite Is My Name stars Eddie Murphy.
Michael Epps, Craig Robinson,
Wesley Snipes,
Courtney Smith McPhee,
and others.
Yep.
Chris Rock, go on.
Yes. Snoop Dogg.
A couple scenes.
Yep.
Kind of trolling Eddie Murphy a bit.
Yep.
Dolemite Is My Name is great, and I really, really like it. And I don't think I can offer any more criticism than that. It's really, really fun. Eddie Murphy is really, really good. Wesley Snipes is really, really good. It's really, really funny. I had really... Oh, shit. Marc is giving me a look.
Mark's giving you the why are you killing my podcast look.
Marc, no. I really, really liked Dolemite Is My Name. I thought it was fantastic. I had a great time with it. It's been a long time since we've seen Eddie Murphy having
having that much fun with a role. But also, like, I think like one of you guys said, I think it was you, Noel, said it's nice to see Eddie Murphy giving a shit.
I knew straight away that first scene where he was talking to Snoop Dogg. I was like, so glad Eddie Murphy's back.
And that's it. It's been a fair few years since Eddie Murphy was kind of like present and there and on form and doing something that you didn't just think, oh, this is just because he wants to make a bit of money. He seemed to give a shit.
Which even at the peak of his powers, arguably the peak of his powers being Dr. Dolittle and stuff like that. I mean, to our generation, we think of peak Eddie Murphy as Beverly Hills Cop, but actually,
no, the peak Eddie Murphy,
he was earning a lot more money and was a lot bigger a star in the clumps Dr. Dolittle era. But he didn't give a fuck about any of those things, clearly. Like, he did not care about any of them. So it's good to see him back and giving a shit and actually in a role that, as I said before, it feels like a role that's kind of designed for him.
The nearest I can get to where you can say it's like it's not a companion film sport, but almost that it reminded me of. It's 48 Hours.
Yeah.
Because 48 Hours starts with him in the jail cell singing Marvin Gaye. That was his first film he made, and Walter Hill was like, right, it's going to zoom in on you, sat in the jail cell, and I want to just be talking just complete gibberish, complete crap. And it was Eddie Murphy who came up with the idea to just start just singing, and Walter Hill was like, all right, fine, let's just go with this. And it had that kind of energy to it. It was never, he never showed off. It was never Eddie Murphy, it was always Eddie Murphy playing this character. And that's what felt great about it. It was an awful lot of fun. It maybe suffers for being a little bit too long. Maybe at a push. But I was still having a great time with it.
Considering it's about him making the film, there's a fair chunk of time before he actually gets to the making the film bit. But to be fair, that's probably needed though, because it needs to.
Is it about the making of the film though, or is it about the making of Dolemite?
Yeah, I mean that's a fair point. Like the path leading up to the release of the film, but no, that's true.
The creation of the character and the creation of the content that character was responsible for, as opposed to specifically the film. It's like Rudy Ray Moore kind of becoming Dolemite through the audio, through the vinyl stuff that he does, through the records, comedy records, and then developing that into a film. Just applying a story to it.
Well, I mean, to be fair, one of the criticisms I kind of had of the first half was it kind of felt like it was sped up. Like it's I'm not doing very well to I'm doing well. It's like from being nothing to being something, and then from being something recording own records to being on a label, and then being on a label to making a film. There was quite a this then that then this then that then this then that structure to it for the first half or so. But it, like you say, Noel, like if it's going for the whole kind of like the making of Dolemite from nothing to the film, then if you're going to focus on him making the film in the second half, you probably do need to just quite quickly go from this to that to this to that in the first half. So
I didn't notice that so much while I was watching it, but now you mention it, I think that's definitely a criticism. Maybe structurally it's not perfect, but I think it's just so pleasant.
It's just so fun, entertaining
that you probably don't care as much about that. And also the score and the soundtrack are both fantastic. Like the score in particular really stands out. It sounds like an authentic blaxploitation score. It really does.
No one involved in this film is looking down on the subject.
No.
And I mean, like the fact that it's like Wesley Snipes' character. He kind of exits it saying, "I'll see you at the premiere." I probably won't be a premiere, but it's not that he hates it, because like that's the sex scene. He's like, well, that was funny as fuck. It's like he is into it,
It's just...
I think it's just more about him being a bit of a prick.
Him being a prick rather than thinking the whole thing's a piece of shit. And that's the thing, is Cody Smith McPhee, I think, is a key character, because he comes in as basically the white man of the film, but he's just like, yeah, we're behind you. I can see what you're doing. I like the enthusiasm you're putting into it. We're behind you all the way. You know, they mention that like a lot of these guys haven't been paid for weeks, and it's just mentioned in passing. It's not anyone actually saying it. It's no one saying to Rudy,
saying we're in this situation, but actually if you can't put film in the camera, then this all ends.
But not like pay me. It's literally we need money to actually finish the thing. You know, and that's key. That's key. I mean, it's one of the most entertaining films I've seen this year. It's just straight up entertaining from start to end. And by the end of it, it's just like, I am so fucking pleased that those guys found success in the way that they did. And it's not like they're Hollywood superstars. It's just they got their fucking voices heard. They knew what their audience was, and they fucking went for it.
It's not necessarily a criticism necessarily, but the one thing I would say is there is no real major conflict in it. Like, nothing bad happens really. Like, there's no threat. Even the threat of the film not being finished is like a conversation that he has, and he's like, look, I need more money, and they go, oh, we don't want to give you more money, and he's like, no, but I need more money, and they go, you're going to owe us big time, and they go, all right then, yeah, you can have the money. Like, even that minor threat that there is dealt with very quickly and very easily. So I don't know if it's a criticism because it didn't bother me, but there isn't really anything. The stakes aren't there really. It's just about how this.
The stakes are if it's not successful.
Yeah, but they don't lean on it too much. I don't think.
No,
do they? It's just.
I think they press on it enough.
Well, the scene in the cafe diner towards
where
the
he's
end,
chewing them out.
Where he's chewing them out, That's probably that's the most of it.
Yeah.
But even that's done kind of humorously, where he's like throwing the bit. You pay for your mac and cheese, you pay for your fucking strawberries and stuff like that.
A criticism I have for it is there is, without question, not enough Craig Robinson in it. But I can say that about every single movie. Is there not enough Craig Robinson? Because when Craig Robinson comes on and sings his opening number, and he goes, I goes, I'm thinking looking good, and it's like, you know what? That is such a Craig Robinson thing. And it's like you almost feel like it's like that. Were those the songs, or did Craig Robinson go, nah, I'm writing my own songs, I'm writing my own tunes for this? Because it just feels.
Also, I prefer Craig Robinson when he's got a towel over his shoulder. I prefer that Craig Robinson
towel thing.
Craig Robinson needs a towel at all times.
The fact that was based on an actual thing that Craig Robinson used to do as well. The towel, it's just brilliant.
So I mean, that's it. It's like Dolemite Is My Name. It's one of the most charming films of the year. It's one of the most entertaining films of the year. It tells a lovely story. Is it one of the best films of the year?
One of the best Netflix films of the year.
Yeah. In this day and age, probably it's one of the best films of the year.
Is it one of the best films of the year? I don't know. No, it's not the best films of the year. Is it in contention for my top 10? Yeah. It really is.
Yeah.
It's probably not in contention for my top 4 or 5, but is it in contention for my top 10? Yeah. And I'd be very happy for it to be in there at the end of the year. Because it's so much goddamn fun.
And a new grading for the show, perhaps. Would Martin Scorsese like it?
Martin Scorsese would like it.
He would, wouldn't he? He would.
He would really like it. Would really like it. And I
Is it cinema?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a few.
Do we think Craig Brewer wears a Rolex?
No.
Wait, what's the connection here?
So that fucking ad before Terminator Dark Fate, where it's like talking about getting into cinema, and if you're young and you have ideas, get into cinema.
And buy a Rolex. Instead of funding your film, buy a fucking Rolex.
And one day you too may have a Rolex.
So would Scorsese would like it? Yes. Would Kevin Feige like it?
No.
There you go.
No.
You don't think?
Kevin Feige should be trying to recast it.
Yeah.
Why are all these Terrence Howards in it?
Dark Fate is fucking shite.
Right out of the gate there.
I've got bollocks and a flash there.
Not impressed then.
Fucking hated that film.
Really?
Nothing happened.
So Terminator Dark Fate.
Nothing happened.
Directed by Tim Miller, written by some people. James Cameron produced
Story
it.
by credit as well for James Cameron.
Yeah, that literally. That is literally. He came up with the
So listen, there are Terminators.
Although to be fair, if James Cameron had done some writing on it, would it make much of a difference really? He's not the best writer in the world, is he?
It's so yeah, Dark Fate, a guest model goes back in time and is whiny and crap to save a Mexican lady. Sarah Connor's there and he's more badass, but he's just angry.
Really angry.
And
it's good to see that she's just as bad an actress as she was in Terminator.
And the Terminator literally has left a bunch of people going, where's my drapes, Carl? Yeah, it was. Look, I have so many issues with it.
Just send a few Terminators back at once. Job done.
What?
Just send 3 of them to hunt her at the same time, and you're done.
Well, it would appear that that's what they did with John Connor, and they eventually got him.
But it was one at a time. It was like just
no, it
send.
wasn't one at a time. They sent a few at once, and
from different timelines.
Yeah.
But just put 3 of them into the same timeline. Just have 3 of them working together to kill the Mexican guy.
That V2 or whatever it was.
V2.
Technically, he was 2, wasn't he?
Just in case nobody outside of this conversation has ever said it before, I want it to be. I want to be the first person to say the T1000. Can we refer to it as the T1000?
Sure.
Because I feel like if somebody hasn't said that already,
I haven't seen it.
So he's a T1000.
He's a T1000.
Well, that guy, yeah, right. Did they
the Tijuana 1000?
Tijuana 1000, yeah. Did they program him to be a bit of a
I'll work on it.
a bit of a prick?
He was a bit sassy.
He seemed to really go for it. Whereas they went, right, the bad guy, we need to make him a bit like he's really enjoying it and a bit of a grin. And the good guy, who is she diabetic or a junkie or what? It's just like, oh, we're going to send this back. Oh, I'm enhanced, but if I do a bit of running or anything like that, I am white.
Right, no, just
I am white.
Like, it's like
so
a
her
reflection
human
of
body
vegan
cannot
culture.
cope. Her metabolism can't cope with. He explains it in the fucking film.
It's fine.
With the tech that's in her body.
That's fine. Then she's not enhanced. She's a crossfitter that hasn't had enough protein that day.
She's enhanced to be able to fight a Terminator once.
Once for literally a few minutes. Which means she's not
normally
that good.
she'd be dead or it'd be dead.
No, but she is still a human. Her body has been in. It's
She's not a
it's like
Terminator.
Right.
she's
Do
like
you know what?
Captain America. She is the ultimate of human performance.
Do you know what then?
But only with the ability to last a certain period of time. Because that's
So
what she would be
what they're saying
required
is
that's what she volunteers for.
Is the new ones, right, are not even as good as the previous ones because at least they sent back another Terminator.
Yeah.
It might have been a lower model, but at least it was a Terminator, not one that did a bit of exercise and then got really tired.
How was it any better than the TX from Terminator 3?
It wasn't.
You know what I mean? It just
It could split in two.
It could split in 2, but okay, great.
But did that make sense?
No, it didn't make sense. It was like
you had the endoskeleton and the.
But so
it made sense. It made sense in so much as it could split in 2 to be a better Terminator, and actually the weakness was that when it was split apart, it was weaker to be one way or the other.
So it was
alright with that.
I was alright with that. Yeah.
I just felt it was a bit
Each
like
half was easier to beat than the whole.
Yeah, but actually
you were having
to be more effective.
Yeah, I got that.
For a while.
That's fine, but it's just you'd think if they're going to upgrade something, you make it considerably better, not like a little bit. It was like the Windows Vista of Terminators.
Yeah, no, but to be fair, if we're going to spin it, and I don't want to start sounding like I'm the one spinning this, but It wasn't a Terminator. It wasn't a Skynet machine. It wasn't an
No.
evolve.
No.
It wasn't an evolution of
it-
T800 and T1000.
So what you're saying
it was a new. It was a separate timeline.
It was a darker timeline.
It's multiverse, Mark.
It was
It's
like
mad, it's multiverse.
It was like
It's the
Atari.
new answer to everything.
It was like Atari had made a
Stop complaining, it's
Terminator
multiverse.
and sent
Anything
it
can
and
happen.
sent it back.
Yeah.
That's what it was. It was the Atari version.
So go on, Ian, you hated it. So what your major complaint?
Like it was a pointless film. It was actually pointless.
What, unlike all those other Terminators?
No. But I mean, like,
they've all been. It's a weak universe. They'll keep making them. But it's a weak universe with a weak mythology.
Okay, look,
they're never going to make a good one. We've learned that.
But the thing is, Terminator Genisys tries to do alternate timeline stuff, and it actually has some fun with that.
Yeah.
This is the thing. Terminator Genisys had fun.
Yeah.
This film was not fun in the.
Yeah, but it wasn't quite as non-fun as Salvation.
No. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
This is not as bad as Salvation.
Yeah.
Like but Salvation is a really, really fucking
And at least,
weak film.
At least one thing it had over Genesis is that it didn't just have cardboard cutouts as the main characters.
Yeah.
So there is that. Because Emilia Clarke and Jai Courtney is shite.
No, I will. Right. Emilia Clarke, and we'll get to Genisys later. No, let me finish. For the first half of Genisys is a lot of fun, and then goes off the boil completely like the entire film. In that film, it was. I had to then think about what the lead female character's name was then, and I just finished watching it. And Mackenzie Davis is woeful. The only explanation for her performance in that film is she's not supposed to be playing a human, and then you go, oh no, wait a minute, she is actually supposed to be playing a human.
She is as much a skin job as Jai Courtney is.
She's worse.
Oh,
She's worse skin job than Jai Courtney.
Like I mean, I like Mackenzie. I have liked Mackenzie Davis. I do not know what that was.
Are you talking about Boyd Holbrook, right?
Boyd Holbrook, yeah. Okay. I have liked it, but I've always had an issue with. I've always liked it in things. I've always had an issue with her because if you ever read interviews, her whole backstory and everything like that is a little bit. It makes you go, oh fuck you, a little bit with her, and then to do that feels a little bit like, hang on a minute, all of that led you to doing that?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Well, her arc is that she was saved by
No,
this woman.
Her actual her in real
which
life.
Is exactly the same. Which is exactly the same arc as Kyle Reese in Terminator.
No.
By the way.
I'm saying her in real life, Mackenzie Davis in real life. Her whole, she's got a big thing around it. She grew up in a Wall Street family. Went and did Wall Street. Went and did that. Made a load of money through it, and decided I don't want to be part of this world anymore. I want to go off and be an actor. So her parents gave her a shitload of money to go off and become an actor, and then she does that.
Right.
And she always saw herself above things like that. And she has done interviews where she's always thought.
Why, what else has she been?
Black Mirror.
She was in The Martian.
Oh, is she?
Yeah. She's never really done that.
She's in that San Junipero episode of Black Mirror.
Was she?
Yeah, she's
the white girl.
The white
in
girl, yeah.
San Junipero.
Fucking hell, I need to go back and see that again.
She's that. She isn't she in that horribly generic TV show that everyone loves.
It's not horribly generic. You're just a fucking idiot.
Is he being serious?
Yeah, he doesn't like Black Mirror because he's an idiot.
Bandersnatch is fucking fantastic.
Bandersnatch is
I don't want to sound like a broken record, but like seriously.
San Junipero is really good. I love the one that.
I did.
Just watch that one.
I didn't like it.
The computer game one where it's like the
one with Wyatt Russell.
That one's not bad, although it's 40 odd minutes long, and I got bored after 15
And the
minutes.
Christmas episode with John Hamm. Is it John Hamm?
Yeah. The ending of that, the Christmas special where
it's all like
it's like 3 mini tales, but then in the end it's like I don't
I can't remember.
It just if you haven't seen it, it's a hell of a thing.
To go back
it's a hell of a thing. No, I mean
you're on this one, Mark. Anyway, let's move on.
I mean the action,
Terminator 12.
But I mean the action. It's
repetitive.
Them being chased by Terminator and.
I'll be honest with you. I think I liked it as much as I have liked all of the other Terminator
Fair enough.
films. Like, it has massive fucking lulls. Like,
Yeah, it does, yeah.
massive lulls. But
I
it
would
started
say
strong, and the opening sequences, the opening car chase sequence, that was great.
Opening 20-25 minutes or so.
It's
Until
stronger in its first act
Yeah.
than anything else. Like, it really drops off a cliff in
And
the second.
it's like that first half hour is okay. The first 5 minutes, even the fucking like the company logos cut in between that and her interrogation tape, and how intense that was, and then the de-aging. Like, because I went,
was great.
Like, because I actually went like, holy shit.
How did you feel about it? Fucking basically Alien 3 and shit.
Yeah, no, that was awful.
Are we all spoilers there?
Yeah. No. I mean, like, just straight up. Fuck it, John Connor's going to die
on
anyway. It's like,
on
what?
one half of it, I'm a bit like, oh, this is bold.
Yeah.
Great, we're going to take it in a new direction. But on the other half of it, I'm a bit like, that's my John. Like many of us, that's my John Connor.
It invalidates
all the other John Connors.
And it invalidates the ending of T2.
Actually, like, that is my John Connor.
No, for sure, and it invalidates the ending of T2 though, because
in the same way that Alien 3 eliminates aliens, they just go fuck it. Like,
Arnie sacrifices himself, saying it's the only way to be sure that, like, okay, I suppose the only way to be sure that Skynet's not going to be created, but they don't say the only way to be sure that John Connor's not assassinated by another Terminator.
Wait a minute, can I throw something out that never gets brought up with T2? His arm's still in the cogs.
Yeah, but there's no CPU in there.
It doesn't matter that the arm's still there, and you can pull whatever you can from
but
there.
for this film it doesn't matter because everything after Judgment Day.
That's it. It completely throws it out.
Mark, it's a multiverse. It doesn't matter anymore. I've said it once already.
But you don't need.
It's the answer to everything now.
You're right. It is.
To be fair, the new Hideo Kojima game, Death Stranding, which I know Becky's really looking forward to playing, apparently the multiplayer aspect of that has been described as Into the Spider-Verse, but in a multiplayer video game. And so, like, what the fuck does that mean? But it's all multiverses. Even video games are multiverses now. Fuck it, why not?
Anything can happen. Sometimes Boyd Holbrook's got a moustache. Sometimes he's not. It's a multiverse. Anything can happen.
Sometimes he's an anemic-looking athletic lady.
Sometimes he's Mackenzie Crook. Sometimes he's
Mackenzie Crook.
in A Star Is Born. We don't know what's going to happen.
Can you imagine that literally, if like halfway through the movie, just for one scene,
it was Mackenzie
instead of
Mackenzie
Mackenzie,
Crook. Yeah.
instead of Mackenzie Davis,
no, it was a good joke.
Instead of Mackenzie Davis, it's Mackenzie Crook, and they just pan back round to him in like the aeroplane as it's falling down, and he just goes. and then the next one, it's not him.
No, I mean the opening is fine. The next half hour before Arnie shows up is a fucking struggle.
That's not a half an hour. That's not half an hour.
And it elevates.
That's not a half an hour.
Massively.
That's a lot longer.
It is, yeah.
That's about an hour. I'd say it's about an hour at least.
What,
it was 3 days between that film.
That border section is not an hour. That film was an
I'm
hour
pretty
and
sure
50
we
minutes.
I'm pretty sure we could cross the border of Mexico quicker than that just happened.
Ali doesn't
we're
turn
the
up
border
for that
of
film until
Scotland
an
right
hour.
now.
I would say into it.
Like, and when Arnie turns up, I mean, it's fine.
It's fun.
No, it's great because when Arnie turns up, like I said to you, I'd kind of forgotten about that.
Yeah.
I was just going along with it, and I was like, oh, shit, I forgot about Arnie. And then Arnie turns up, and it's laughable.
Yeah.
Like, it's ridiculously laughable. And then the film gets on board the joke, and I go, no, it's Carl. It's funny. It's actually kind of funny.
It is a little bit.
It is better
I felt like I was laughing at it, and then I went, oh no, actually,
Better in Genesis.
I'm laughing with it.
It's exactly the same as Better in Genesis.
It is a little bit like though that somebody.
He's more human in this. He's lived his life there.
Oh, but when he's doing, when he's practicing the smile,
like when he stood outside, like hugging his kid,
sort
and he's
of
like, "Think of your mom." It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
It's like somebody wrote an actual character.
But I'm alright with
and
it.
then later on, as they're doing a reading, they went, "You do know he's not a human, don't they?" And they went, "Oh, is he not?
No.
Oh, just give me a minute." There you go. Listen, you literally changed that in a minute.
You could look at every single. You could look at every single movement he does. There's a moment where, like, he does something. I can't remember what it is. He does something, and Linda Hamilton sort of looks at him, and he sort of goes, like, he's a robot. He would not.
Yeah.
He wouldn't like. There's a million
Gesticulate,
things you can look at and just go. It doesn't make
Whereas
sense.
in Genesis, there is a 20-year gap where he is trying to be
He works
human.
construction.
She's been trying to teach him tricks and like the whole kind of the smiling running joke. It's good shit.
It's a good joke.
It is a good
Do you know
joke.
what? Yeah. Do you know what, Ian? I think you're right. I think Dark Fate is making me like the first 45 minutes of Genesis even more.
I'm seriously. The fact that
Genesis is an entertaining
Yeah,
film.
Dark
That
Fate.
was an entertaining film for about 60% of its runtime.
That's the thing. I'd say it was entertaining for about 20% of its runtime.
I'd say 12%.
Yeah, there you go. And it just like I thought it was fucking bad. Like it just like, and I think it's maybe because my expectations were a little bit up because people were saying.
I know, it's always expectations on the floor.
My expectations were low, and then at about halfway through that, I was there going, "Oh, this even isn't even hitting where my expectations were." And my expectations were, "It'll be better than Salvation."
And it was better than Salvation.
Opening.
I think it was.
Yeah, it probably was.
Opening 20-25 minutes. Carl section. Some of the effects. The split. Terminator. T-1000. All those things considered. Gives me about 60%.
You like your joke more than you like the character.
Probably, yeah. No, but it did feel like, especially in that first 25 minutes, the one thing that you want to get from a Terminator film is that feeling of like, without doing the quote, like that feeling of like it's not going to stop, it's going to keep going.
Yeah.
And you've got to keep, it doesn't matter what you do, it's going to keep coming, it's going to keep getting better. Apart from the fact that you should maybe stop throwing things at the fucking Terminator and throw things at vehicles, because the vehicles you can stop, which is an obvious thing, but like you need to be able to feel that like persistent thing, like you felt in Terminator with the fucking in Terminator, but also in Terminator 2 with like the truck, where it's like, no, it's going to keep going, it's going to keep smashing through things, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I did get that from the first 25 minutes.
So
like, I was excited to see a new Terminator coming after him, to the point where I kind of forgot about Arnold Schwarzenegger. I was just like in that, like, there was enough going on. Like,
I did forget that Arnold Schwarzenegger was in it as well, but I think for a different reason. I was just bored, and I was really bored throughout the most of it, and I was actually quite excited for it. So I was thinking, do you know what? It's a new Terminator, what is it? But then they essentially go, they pull the MacGuffin at the beginning by killing it, which felt a little bit like somebody.
That upset me a little bit.
I'm surprised more people aren't
about that. It felt a little bit like somebody had watched.
I know Dean actually tweeted saying, "I can't believe Cameron let them aliens free." It was like I didn't quite get what that meant, but
it felt a little bit. I can see this three thing, but it felt a little bit endgamey as well, in the sense that you got like a big. In the first, what is it? And then they were like, all right, so this is completely different to what I was expecting, and it's going to be nothing to do with that. And it's like a reboot. It's like, look,
that's it. Though. That's the thing, that they have kind of like they've tricked us again, haven't they?
They've opened it up for more sequels. It's a bit of an anything.
To be fair, it sounds like me and you like it a little bit more than we do. But at the same time, they've kind of tricked us again, haven't they? They've kind of said, no, like as they always say, no, this is the real sequel to T2. But actually,
it's not.
They fucking multiversed it, and they've tricked us again.
Do you know what my biggest takeaway of it is?
It's just different.
Okay, let's do what we want.
Of the whole movie, my biggest takeaway was.
Just keep imagining him in Pirates of the Caribbean every time you say that.
Was holy shit! If that de-aging is that good in The Irishman, it is going to be amazing.
The thing
and
is,
that was all I thought.
It was literally a couple of shots of her sitting down and then running. It's
she
like
didn't move too much either.
I mean that was it. It was like when she was running, you didn't really see her face, but when she was sat down looking at him, it was like, that's Linda Hamilton from Terminator 2.
And I was thinking that, and then it was Edward Furlong, and he's a bit further away and stuff like that. I was like, no, that is 100%. Especially They didn't mocap Edward Furlong, or maybe they did, but Edward Furlong does not look anywhere near like that.
Edward Furlong actually commented on this on the film thing by he put a picture up on his, I'm guessing, MySpace, knowing Edward Furlong, of him sat with a phone near him saying, "Still waiting," and it's like, yeah, we know what you're saying, but they ain't fucking calling, mate.
He's rough as fuck.
Oh, so he was not involved. So they recreated him from nothing.
They didn't even need. I knew there was an Edward Furlong thing in it. They didn't even need to get his permission because he didn't hold the rights to what is it?
Well, I mean,
because his parents do. So they didn't need to get his permission for any of it at all.
Well, I mean, there's the Crow reboot coming up. He can keep his fingers.
He could, yes, he could be in that.
I don't know. You just get a fucking 13-year-old and just get some wavy hair and job done, really, though.
And just get.
So the thing is there's not like the thing that like the only, like many of us, like most of us, we grew up on the first Terminator film, and then, well, like me anyway. We grew up on the first Terminator film, and the second Terminator film hit at the perfect point for us to be completely absorbed by special effects and this fucking taking this thing that you knew and fucking exploding it into something else. And that's what makes Edward Furlong's character and Edward Furlong's John Connor so important, because I was roughly that age.
He was
I
us in the
literally had that
situation,
t-shirt
wasn't he?
and he listened to Guns N' Roses. I'm like, I could be him.
You had that fucking ace thing that you stick into a card machine and you get cash out.
You were 11 years old and a motorbike for some reason.
I used to have a ginger guy in the back.
It was a dirt bike.
I still don't
You used to play Afterburner, the fucking arcade cabinet.
All these things are true apart from the card thing, but
it's still odd in T2 that he's 11 years old. Maximum 11 years old. He could be 10, and he has effectively a motorbike.
He's illegally driving a dirt bike on the road.
Xander Berkeley is perfectly open to go in. That's fine, let him go on it. He went off on his bike. It's not his bike, is it?
Yeah, but Berkeley and Goldstein aren't exactly model foster parents, are they?
They're not. The foster system in America in the 90s was not good.
No, but the thing is that's we had an evolution of the first Terminator film where we got to meet John Connor.
Yeah.
Like, not that scarred guy for the first one, the actual John Connor. And we've never gotten to see that John Connor turn into
anything.
No. Like, all we've gotten is sort of knockoff sequels.
And Christian Bale being growly and intense.
They've never really gotten us to it. So
Christian Bale being John Connor like he's never seen a Terminator film.
No. The right thing to do would be for us to see that John Connor turn into something else.
T3
because otherwise, what's the fucking point?
No, T3 is the same timeline, but
so Nick Stahl is supposed
to but Nick Stahl is the weakest, bitchiest, whiniest fucking prick. Like, he's the worst John Connor.
He's not as whiny and bitchy as John Connor's pal Reese.
Few things. No. I will argue.
It's been a while.
I think Jai Courtney kind of grows into it as the film goes on.
I disagree.
I think the exact opposite of that.
Yes.
But what I will say there is, I don't think Jai Courtney is whiny and bitchy at all in it. I just think he acts completely clueless, like he's supposed to be in a different movie.
Which he kind of is, because he's expecting to go back and just relive the events of the Terminator, and then it's like, what the fuck's this shit?
Yeah.
No, but evolve, grow, don't be a bitch.
To be fair, if I was looking at Emilia Clarke in the buff, I'd probably be a little bit, I don't really know what to do here.
I really need to watch it.
I like Jai Courtney.
I really enjoy it.
I think
he's good.
I think
their
he's a lot of fun.
relationship's so wooden though. They have no chemistry
But what I will say
whatsoever.
is, he's just horribly miscast in that movie.
Yeah, he is miscast.
Yeah, but I like Jai Courtney because literally,
Emilia Clarke
and
has
if anyone
done
ever
one
says to
role
me,
well ever.
Why? I'll go, okay.
But just for a long time.
That is why.
Captain Boomerang, yeah. I mean, Jai Courtney is Captain Boomerang, and that's the important thing.
That is it. And Captain Boomerang is about the only salvageable thing from the shithole of a mess that is
the most engaging performance that Jai Courtney has ever done.
It is.
Until this point in his career.
I think I remember.
He's got big problems.
That shot, I think I'll remember that shot until my dying day of Jai Courtney, where it's like there's some sort of explosion or something. He's just like.
Like, it's just there's all
I need more of that.
Isn't that also the bit where he picks up the fucking unicorn and goes, dusts it off and then puts it back in his jacket?
See, that would have been better if Deadpool hadn't have already done the unicorn thing by that point.
Deadpool had done the unicorn
I
thing.
think kind of like Jai Courtney's Kyle Reese if he's had a
Captain
unicorn
Boomerang
thing.
is fucked that unicorn.
No, I think that.
I think Deadpool.
I don't think Deadpool did. I think he's all talking no trousers.
No, there's literally a scene where he's jerking off on the what is it?
Sorry.
In certain scenes he is, isn't it?
Yeah. There's literally a scene where he's jerking off on it.
Yeah, but it's like jerking off onto a thing, and there's like just fucking like.
Oh yeah, without question, Jai Courtney's raw dog that unicorn.
Where's Max going?
Just go to the room a second. Yeah, it's. I feel let down by Dark Fate on so many levels.
Look, it's not good, but what did you want?
I wanted.
What did you need from a
6.5 to 7 out of 10.
Genesis 2 is what I needed.
I wanted at least 2 of the actors to actually have some kind of energy or personality.
This is the thing. I mean, we haven't even talked about the leader of the New Resistance. I mean, Natalie Reyes, so blank slate, and there's nothing there. I mean, literally, there's that one line the supervisor says earlier on when she doesn't want her brother to lose the job, and he's like, but he's not you. It's like, right, okay,
but we've not seen
anything, and the whole of the film, she is a bystander, and then right at the end,
it's a very jumpy sort of. She has a very jumpy arc where it's like, my brother's going to lose his job, I'm going to go and talk to the boss, and then my brother can drive, I can't drive. Her arc is learning to drive and learning to stand up for herself,
but only because somebody told her she's going to be great.
But when she decides to become bait and she's insistent that she must be the bait, it's a bit like, I don't really know who you are. I don't really know what got you to that point.
That's my issue. Is
you just believe these people that you've just stepped into today?
Yeah.
So what's the timeline here? Is this 24 hours, 48 hours, or a week?
Yeah, no, exactly.
It's not really.
They're harking back to Terminator 1 rather than Terminator 2, where you've got Kyle Reese is sent back and he's an actual human to protect Sarah Connor. And then rather than an MT2, it's instead of sending a human back, they send a Terminator back, and all he's programmed to do is to protect John Connor. That is it. Is a program.
And make drapes.
That's something that I want to do.
I did like their tagline on the van. We don't leave you hanging. That was pretty solid.
And then
there's a local stationery company that's near me that's got a van that says I can't remember it exactly, but it's the greatest thing I've ever seen. And it says something like it's like a 24-hour stationery delivery thing, and it just says on the side, "We're never stationary."
There's
a mixed message. You're never stationary.
There is a.
What do you do?
There is a company.
Are you always stationary or just?
There's a company in York that does Japanese knotweed removal.
Right.
And on the side of it, it has a picture from 10 Cloverfield Lane that says, and the thing says 10 Cloverfield Lane has Japanese knotweed. Don't be Cloverfield 3. And then it has the number for it. And it's like that's. You're basically basing your whole. What is it? Did you swipe it that way?
Are they just advertising to you, Mark?
And it's. I don't know.
The lift scares me. I don't want to risk my life again.
If things don't work, we need to know.
I
don't need to go upstairs.
Just to check, I've still not got a card to your room.
No, sorry,
I might just walk in.
Oh, maybe you do actually.
No, he's giving it to me.
Try on those nice green shoes.
What is it?
Maybe.
Go and check. What? I'm going to fucking have to check them, won't I?
I was just going to jerk off into the sink.
Yeah, do that.
Wait, have you used your sink yet?
I've already stolen Becky's shoes, so alright, sweet.
My green ones?
Yeah, he jerked off into them.
Yeah. So then, what they've got is, I don't know what. What about this one? What about if we send a human back? We've done that in. Oh wait, but they're enhanced.
What
It's
if we send back something shitter?
yeah, it's like, all right, so that they can do all these things. Yeah, but wait. Here's the bit. What? They power down really quickly.
I tell you what, in Terminator Dark Fate 2, they're going to send back a reprogrammed Legion L1000.
What, is that those octopus motherfuckers? Because they look pretty good.
Yeah, probably.
Send back one of those.
Yeah, send back one of those.
Why did they send back all these? Right, this is right. There's a bit in it where T1000, right? He's walking down and he does his little eye scanning. He does his little eye scanning thing, right? For a start off, why is he can do all the T things and all this lot, and we're in an hour time, yet his vision is still the same as the T1000. Why isn't his in like fucking 8K and shit like that if he can do all those things? And he looks and he goes, oh, there she is, but then still goes through the security bit rather than just going up behind her and just going, pulling that little finger bit out and just going, right, she's dead, then fucking off. Another bit there, during that whole border detention centre thing, why does he only start attacking the other border security guys? He's wearing a border security thing. He could probably just walk out with them. He doesn't need to start attacking them. He chooses to start doing that.
There was a functional issue I had there where he was like,
was this the bit
he can do whatever he needs to do.
You got to know about a certain bit.
If I need to cut through a swathe of people, I'm not going to start stabbing them on things that I can impale them on and then have to deal with the crowd that I'm doing with that. I'm going to make big fucking wide bladey things and I'm going to go and like cut through them. Like,
you seem to get bothered actually by him actually getting into the building. Like you're like, well, they should have checked his security pass or something like that. Well, yeah. When he's in the car, he went, oh, apparently you've got a disturbance, they've called me, whatever. And Noel went,
No. If I made a noise at that point, it's because that border guy, the performance of the fucking year, that guy, like, when he pulls up in the car and he's like, hey, but whatever the fuck he says, the guy who's on the border's like, yeah. Okay, well, and he does this before, and it's a bit like, fucking chill out, mate. You're on fucking screen for 5 seconds. He gives a performance.
You know he's someone's dad.
Yeah, he made the fucking most out of that shit. Just pull it down a little bit.
The girl.
You're a border guard.
The girl who brings somebody's coffee has gone, yeah, my dad does a bit of acting, and he's literally just burst through a room and gone, yeah, I do.
I don't know. It sounds dodgy, but it's like this whole border thing, and the fact that the first part of it's like set in Mexico and whatnot. It kind of.
I believe it's pronounced Mexico.
Okay, fair enough. But
I believe it's pronounced border.
But it just feels like.
Baiting?
It feels like it's trying to be representative, and but it is forced. And the thing is, it's like, yes, be representative and have women be the leads. That's fantastic. I mean, like, you've got 3 women as the leads for like a good chunk of the film. Just be fun. Be entertaining.
And also,
you're not just gonna. I'll be honest. I almost feel like it's getting some point of like extra credit just because of that.
But I don't necessarily think that it's the best use of. If the point is to address border issues, then I'm not sure a Mexican bringing a problem into like across the border is
literally digging a hole, using a hole dug underneath it.
It's not really it's
a good point.
Like, because actually, if you break it down, it's just like an American has gone into Mexico to bring a problematic Mexican into the US.
Actually, yeah. To be fair, she's an undocumented Mexican. They literally say that.
There is also the moment where they go, we need to get across the border, and I don't think we're going to be able to do it. And she's like, I know, guy, because everybody in Mexico knows a guy that you can
Can I also point something else out, right? They need to find a way to get across the border. So she uses her Mexican
de border.
The Mexican accent, right? But Sarah Connor literally doesn't go, hang on a minute, I know a major who's a pretty fucking big deal who can probably just get us across. I'll ring them. Sarah Connor literally in T2, which is a direct sequel from, literally knows Mexicans. Sarah Connor in T2.
Oh yeah.
So it's a bit like, really? It seems like she'd know how to do this.
There's one thing that really bothered me about the film generally.
We've got one, was there two?
There's a few times where they are Mackenzie Crook / Boyd Holbrook. I can't remember.
Boyd Crook.
That person is delivering lines that are blatant references to previous films.
Yeah.
And you've just got Linda Hamilton in the background going.
And also,
it's also solemnly.
You 30% of her performance.
Yeah, and you're sort of waiting for her to go. She's right. She fucking does.
Also,
she literally says it.
You can
listen
get
to her. She's right. I've been here before. We know you've been here before. You don't need to say it.
It's like,
we know you've been here.
You can use my power source. Like that sounds familiar. And then because just cut there. It's like, and then she literally just reaches in and just manages to unhook that entire power source completely fucking blind, knowing exactly where it is.
With it?
And then
do what with it?
And then
drop it.
No. I mean, if me and Marc are in a situation where he's come from the future and he's like, no, honestly, I've got a power source within me. Just use
grab
that.
Yeah.
Mark, can you
I'm
just
gonna
say
be
to
like,
Noel, come with me if you want to live?
You're going to need to give me more detail than that. Like, where do I take it from? What do I do with it? Do I smash it on the ground? Is there a button? Like, where do I insert? Like, how do I activate it? You need to give me more information.
It does seem, and then it's like,
Mark.
It's like she's got to get really fucking close. It seems like that Terminator can literally beat the shit out of other Terminators or other enhanced CrossFitters, and then. But then, literally, for a good while, gets his ass kicked by a little Mexican girl. Yeah. It's a little bit like, right, so I don't get this guy. He seems excited about killing a lot of people, but then fails to actually kill the person he's trying to kill.
Well, no, because she's super powerful. She's like the hope of the future.
Why did you go through? But you weren't here when I said about the fence bit where he sees her in the fence and walks by her.
Yeah.
When he could have just gone up behind her and gone. Done.
Yeah,
have we discussed the ham-fisted feminism in the film? Yeah.
Kind of think, just talking about the fact that it's free women on screen, which is great, but it's just be fun. Because the thing is now, you'll get people who don't like the film saying, "Oh, bloody Hollywood, trying to force these women down our throats, and look what you get." And it's like, I'm not saying that.
No.
It's just like Charlie's Angels. I fucking pray that film's fun. That film needs to be fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got Kirsten Stewart in it, so.
I don't know. I disagree, man. I think all I'm getting from that is fucking like. It doesn't feel like the right film. It doesn't.
I'm saying I want it to be fun. I don't like. I'm getting the.
Make a Charlie's Angels film and make it be about women that can do whatever they need to do in that film. It just feels a bit like, hey, we're all dressing up and we can do karate. And
we're on the right side because we punch people in time from saying our cause and going, why would you steal humanitarian aid? But I'm doing it as I'm punching a guy. And that whole thing.
You weren't here for the bit earlier where Ian essentially live
watched the
Actually,
can we do this
music
with
video?
Have you seen this yet?
Charlie's Angels thing.
Have you seen this music video?
What, music video of Charlie's Angels?
Yeah.
I will never see that.
Can you though? Because
No.
I want to. I want to live record. No, you don't have to listen to the music.
I won't.
Can you just look at how bored Lana Del Rey looks throughout the entire thing?
Can we get a still? Just one still. Becky, find a still.
You might as well ask me to start vaping.
I'm the same as Noel on this.
No.
But find a still of Lana Del Rey and just look how she literally.
Does she look more bored than usual?
Yeah, she does. She literally has a look.
Well, actually,
it's like
that's an achievement.
She's literally, her face is the "I've made a huge mistake" gif from Arrested Development. That's on repeat.
I mean, even in the promo shot, look how bored she looks.
Wait, which one is she?
The one on that side.
Oh, is that one?
Yeah.
Hold on. I guarantee.
Oh wait, so when it said the new single from Miley Cyrus,
it meant all three of them
at the same time.
Yeah.
Right.
This Lana Del Rey who is refusing to do any promotional work for it. They asked an interview about Dan Auerbach what he thought about the fact that she was doing the and his response was, with who? And they went, Ariana Grande and Miley Cyrus. And he went, Dan Auerbach's response was, that's unfortunate. And then literally just left it at that and then continued, which for them guys is quite amusing because they can be quite fun about things.
They're in.
You have him there?
Yeah.
Wouldn't say no.
Yeah.
What is it?
Camden Pale.
Camden Pale.
Um,
Are we still recording?
Yeah. I wish I liked it more. I
This
really,
is just
really,
hanging
really,
out
really,
now, isn't
really, really do wish that I liked it more.
I really enjoyed it from the point that Arnold Schwarzenegger came into it. I thought the punniness came back into it, and it was more fun.
That's fine. I get that.
And there was a whole Carl thing.
I get that. But he's not a Terminator. He's just not. He's not a Terminator. That wouldn't happen. Shanice just did it better.
It doesn't. To be fair, it doesn't make any sense. It's like, right, his mission is complete.
What?
Well, it actually explains in T2.
Not as much in the cinema as they did the whole car thing.
Nope. I'm agreeing on that.
This year.
What was that?
He's not laughed as much in the cinema as the whole Carl thing.
I mean, that was funny.
It was
funny shit.
Yeah. It was.
But it actually explains in T2 that they can't learn unless that thing in their head's adjusted.
Fine. That's.
And his wasn't. No one's adjusted his, so it wouldn't work.
No, but right, all right. So literally, that woman that he's been in a relationship with for 20 odd years, right, has not at one point, right, gone.
Tap a bit of
She was born just for a second, just fun, just once, and he's gone. No, at no point during meal times has she gone, Carl, why don't you eat?
No, what I'm saying is within
But
the
she doesn't know.
Within the context of the universe, it actually explains in T2 that they can't learn unless that thing in their head's
I'm aware
adjusted.
of that, Becky.
This is a different Terminator. That hasn't been adjusted, but he's learned.
No, but I'm aware of that. Right? What I'm saying is how did he
carnal lust
function
of his,
No, I get that.
from
Yeah,
day
it's
to
your point
day?
as well. I get that.
How did he drink? His wife at some, and she doesn't know. If she knew, fair enough. But at some point she's got to.
That she doesn't know.
No, he does. He does. She doesn't know. He literally says she doesn't know.
Oh, okay. All right, fair enough.
No, but so she doesn't, and he goes no. So it makes it known that she doesn't know.
But
Thanks, Marc.
just let him live his life.
What? But in a 20-odd year
Let Carl live his life.
Fine with Carl live his life. But in a 20-odd year relationship, his partner has never seen him. So they've never been out for a meal. Never been out for a meal.
Maybe he's told her that
Never.
he's anorexic.
He clearly isn't anorexic.
She
doesn't know what anorexia is.
Maybe what?
That's a poor defense.
Maybe he's told her that he only ever eats protein bars in private because he's got some weird eating disorder.
But he doesn't have a drink, or a piss, or a shit, or anything that a human does.
I've been with you for 20 years, and I wouldn't invite you in to watch me pee.
No, that's fair enough. So the P one, but
shit.
The drink, and the what is it?
I've just had
Wait,
one.
girls poo?
No, babe, no.
Fucking hell!
That's just
I rocked my world then. Wow. Okay, I'm glad that we got cleared up. Yeah, no, that's it. All I could think there was, wait, so she's never seen him like eat a Mars bar or anything. That's no, I do not believe
Maybe
that.
he pretends. Maybe he like chews it up.
And then has like a little
he's got
sack.
a hamster pouch.
And then the minute she goes to sleep, it just goes, and then just throws it. That fair
Possibly.
enough. But if they'd have explained that in the movie,
Well, to be fair, he's an infiltration unit. He probably does have to have the capacity to at least look like he's eating.
I'm fine with that. If at any point a Terminator had done that, but they haven't.
Well, yeah, I know, but it's because we just the
interesting bit.
plot hasn't necessitized us needing to see a Terminator at mealtime.
But this one did. So someone could have said, but wait a minute, how have you managed to hide this? Oh, I have a ruggle sack that collects food.
A ruggle sack.
Because that's he's pulling it out as he's
his
saying
ruggle.
Yeah.
So it's ruggle sack.
Yeah.
Is Digimon Hansune in there?
Why would
like
he be
involved
there?
in like the design or something? I'm just
Who
mocking
keeps
you.
Digimon Hansune in his ruggle?
It was a noise to sing freaking regurgitated.
Where's Bandersack
Ruggle.
National in this?
You're all bastards.
Because you can't talk.
I wasn't saying a thing then.
Hey, Noel, can you ask Mark what the sound is of if someone's pulling something out of their stomach?
Go on. They're taking the piss out of me.
Apparently it's Ruggalug.
I said, does the Terminator have like a little sack thing where he eats food and then when she goes off to sleep and the kid goes off to sleep, he just goes lug like that and it comes out and then he empties the sack out.
That was even better.
I think the natural sound of somebody having something pulled out of their stomach is Digimon Hansu.
What are you eating earlier?
We did ask if Digimon Hansune was involved or Bandersnatch cum satchel.
Mark, I've always called him Digimon Hansu, so
everyone has.
It's fine. These idiots, Digimon, fuck all that shit.
That's not his real name.
Digimon Hansu, Digimon fighting.
It's definitely shit.
It's definitely shit, yeah.
No, it's not shit.
What are you definitely not shit?
Yeah, definitely.
You're definitely not shit.
No, it's not
Yeah, I had a
shit.
good time with it. I'm definitely not shit.
I'm glad for you both. Not for the Genesis.
Although, do you know what? Actually,
No, I agree.
For the sag in the middle, for the big old fucking, there's that whole Mexican border situation.
There
in
is
the
that
middle.
whole bit, yeah.
Like it's
And
trying to tell
actually,
us
it never
something.
really picks up
Carl.
enough.
Carl.
Yeah, I think I might go touching club.
But you're not shit.
It's not shit. It's not shit. I'll never watch it again. But then I've never watched a Terminator sequel. I've never watched a Terminator 2 sequel. Let's say I've never watched any of them since then, and I've enjoyed all of them. I enjoyed Genesis. As I recall, it might have been the first time we ever did a podcast together.
That was Salvation.
That's the one I meant. Yeah.
You enjoyed Salvation?
Yeah, the first time me and Ian ever did a podcast together was a review of Terminator Salvation, and I was like, no man, I had a good time with it, and you were like, no, it's fucking bullshit.
I do remember that podcast actually, yeah.
Started well, but like every single Terminator movie I've seen since Terminator 2, I've enjoyed while I was watching it. And then I've never watched it again, and I'm happy for this to fall into that category. Like, if they'll keep making them, I'll keep watching them. I'll keep thinking they're shit, but I'll still keep watching them.
On that basis, can I class it as definitely not shit? Because that is one of my indicators. Will I watch this again?
Will you?
Possibly not.
I will.
It might need to be a touching cloth, actually.
Yeah.
I'll never watch that again.
I'll never watch it again.
No. Whereas I will watch Terminator and Terminator 2 again.
Yeah. You've got ITV2. You've got no choice.
I would say of all of them, I might even watch Genesis again.
I'll watch Genesis.
I'll definitely watch. If you said to me now, you've got to rewatch any Terminator film that isn't Terminator 1 or 2.
Yeah, it'd be Genesis.
Is that what we're calling it now, Genesis?
The weird thing is, I think that Ian coined Genesis. And a guy I work with actually referred to it as Terminator Genesis the other day.
It's Genesis.
And I was like,
I just think it's a stupid title.
It is. It's a stupid spelling of a stupid title.
So, yeah, but I actually heard.
Never stop stopping.
Never stop.
It's Dolemite Is My Name.
Should we do The Shining?
We can do. Yeah, we can do. I mean, did you watch The Shining in the run up to watching?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I fucking love The Shining. It's just so full of fucking dread throughout the entire thing. I love it. I know people have issues with it, but just as a fucking experience, that film's second to none.
It is very pretty, and there's some very nice carpets involved in that film. But it feels like on rewatch, just because we rewatched it before watching Doctor Sleep, it feels so shallow. It feels all surface on a character development level.
But you go, yeah.
Yeah, but even if you haven't read the book and you're not going, oh well, hang on a second, he's not a dick like this all the way through. You still have that kind of why is she with him? Why is she going with him to this fucking isolated place if he's this much of a dick anyway? There's no character development. They all just are what they are, but a little bit more exaggerated.
I always struggle with Kubrick.
Yeah, I don't.
You really like Kubrick, yeah.
But this is one that I'm like.
But I always don't. There's not. I don't know. There are Kubrick movies that I really like, but there are other ones that it's one of those things where I don't like. I don't think it's a bad movie. I don't think anything like that. It's just not for me.
Performances are really good in it. Jack Nicholson is really good as the version of Jack Torrance that he is supposed to be portraying. And what's her name? Shelley Duvall is fine as the version of Wendy Torrance that she's supposed to be portraying. But it just feels like the book is quite meaty on a character level, and a lot of what is going on in that, and a lot of what grips you with the book, is the character stuff, and the film has none of it. It just has really nice carpets. So if I'm going to sit there and come down on the side of Stephen King's version of The Shining or
I think
Stanley
that's your
Kubrick's
issue with it.
version of The Shining, then sorry, it's going to be King's all the way.
I think that's your major issue with it. Is that you're a much bigger Stephen King fan.
Yeah.
What have you watched a few things on your own?
I watched the start of a few things on my own.
Oh. So you've not actually watched the whole of a movie on your own?
I started watching Transylvania 65000.
Wow.
That is a fun fucking film.
Right, well, you can talk about it next week when you finished it. I rewatched one that you haven't watched. I rewatched Road Trip because why not? Yeah. Road Trip is less problematic than I thought it might have been.
Yeah, it's fine.
I thought Road. Are you thinking of your Road Trip, Becky?
No, Road Trip.
Which one do you think it is? Because when I talked about the earlier, just about watching it a couple of days ago, you thought it was your Road Trip.
I might be thinking of the one with the boats. What's the one with the boats with Seth Green?
What? I don't have a clue what fucking movie you're on about now.
That's fine.
Boats and Seth Green. Without a paddle?
Yes.
Yeah, it's not Without a Paddle.
Oh, Without a Paddle's great.
Without a Paddle's fucking fantastic.
We could talk about Without a Paddle.
Well, I've seen it enough times now. Road Trip was less problematic than I thought it might have been. It's actually, and it is fun, but it is incredibly stupid. So the ones we actually watched together.
Yeah.
Well,
I watched Scooby-Doo 2.
Well, yeah, but I said
kind of without you.
Yeah, because I fell asleep.
Yeah. That's really fucking. It's ropey, but it's fun. Scooby-Doo 2.
Cool.
It's a good story-ish. It's not as good as number 1.
No, it's not. That's why I fell asleep.
It's not as good as any of the cartoons, but it's fine.
We watched Shazam.
Oh yeah. What do you think of that?
I really liked it.
Yeah.
I had a really good time with it. I laughed an awful lot more than I thought I might have done. It's too long. It's way too long. The ending goes on for far too long. But when it's just him getting used to being Shazam and dicking about, it's an awful lot of fun. Zach really he gets across that ridiculousness of, well, can you fly? I don't know. Maybe I can.
Let's give it a go.
And there was all sorts of bits like that were quite good. It also had a little bit of heart to it. I just think that the last act lets it down, which is literally what you could say about 99% of comic book movies is the last act lets it down. But yeah, I had a great time with it. I don't need to see a sequel where they're all in it. I just don't.
No.
But would I watch a sequel that was entitled Shazam? I wonder what else I can do. Yeah, I'd watch that. Put that in the sequel we'll get.
I also watched Hocus Pocus.
I say, you watched some stuff on your own. Oh, well, I watched some half of stuff on my own, but actually I watched all of these as well.
I can't remember how far back we're going. I watched Hocus Pocus. Hocus Pocus is Hocus Pocus.
Hocus Pocus is nowhere near as fucking good as people will tell you it is.
It's really fucking good.
It's not that good.
No, it's really fucking good.
It's not that good.
You can shut the fuck up. It's really good.
I saw it at the cinema, so...
It's really fun. Who'd you go with?
On my own.
Oh. And I started watching, which I will talk about next time. I only didn't finish watching it because you were like, oh, I'm going to come downstairs. Well, I've finished my nap now. The Handmaiden. Have you watched The Handmaiden, Ian?
Yeah. That's a hell of a film.
It's really fucking good, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like mind-blowingly, beautifully good.
I know.
To the point that I've seen it. It's one of those that I've put off watching for quite a long time because as much as I like world cinema, watching something with subtitles, you have to pay an awful lot more attention, and I've just kind of not been in that place. But I started watching it earlier today, and it's really fucking good. Also, Korean filth. It's just dirty.
Yeah, it's properly fucking dirty.
It's properly dirty.
Alright, stop it. I want to watch this now.
Well, you should have fucking agreed to watch it months ago then.
You have not suggested it once.
Well, I've suggested it many times. It's been in our watch list for a long time.
I don't look at the watch list, I don't look at watch lists.
Yeah, it's very good.
Cool, you can talk about the rest of it when you finish watching it. We've got 2 more left, haven't we?
Go on. Talk about Titanic.
We do need to talk about Titanic.
Do we?
Yeah.
I feel like my brain.
There was a moment. Where I literally made a shit joke about a point in the movie, made a shit joke about it, and then 15 seconds later, the movie actually included my shit joke. So, Titanic is about a group of dickheads who do dickhead things because, of course, they're off to Coachella because they're dickheads.
Oh, God, yeah, the Coachella.
And they remind you every 8 minutes in the movie that they are going to Coachella.
Why are we here? We could be at Coachella.
But they stop off in LA to go around a load of, satanic sites.
Yeah.
One of them, they go to a satanic magic shop with just the surliest bastard working there, who, when they start looking at things, he literally tells them to get the fuck out.
Well, I can work in this satanic shop, then...
Why open a shop if everyone who comes in to look at the stuff, who's interested in it,
it is not for you.
Do you then go, no, get out? when basically you look like the worst fucking bass player of a Norwegian death metal band. Right?
They got a shell
And
arrived, don't they?
And then so they get kicked out of this shop, and I turned around to Becky and said, you know what they need to do? Becky goes, what went? Give them a really shitty review on Yelp. Literally, 15 seconds later, as they're walking around, the girl from it turns around and says, well, I'm giving this a shitty review on Yelp. Oh my god, I was fucking joking. And it wasn't a joke. She meant it. She was actually going to give it a shitty review on Yelp. There's a whole bit where they're taking in a girl who they almost saw get sacrificed but didn't, and they decide to take her in for the night because she's got nowhere to stay, and they keep going up and going, oh, but she's only a girl. Look, she's only a girl. She's only a girl. And you're going, she looks like she's 30. She looks older than all of you people.
Yeah.
It's terrible, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you hope all of them die.
Yeah. Get shit.
And the only good bit is the fact that they all do die.
Yeah.
But no, they don't have the budget to show you half of them dying, so most of them die off screen. Yeah. No, it's not.
Sounds like a treat, guys.
Yeah, don't watch it.
Don't watch it.
No one needs to watch it because we've watched it. We've watched it for everybody.
We also watched Gleaming the Cube.
You and your Christian Slater love.
I do love Christian Slater.
Is that Lottie in the background?
Yeah, she's just going to bed.
Oh, night night Lottie.
I just can't hear you. I got my headphones on.
Right, tell her night night Lottie from Becky.
I will in a bit.
Okay.
She's having some sort of conversation with Donna about something at the moment, so I don't know what's going on.
As it is.
Yeah,
So, Gleaming the Cube.
Gleaming the Cube is fucking great. You've seen Gleaming the Cube, right?
I have, yes.
Yeah, it's fucking great. I love Gleaming the Cube. It's just magnificent. Don't need to say much else on it other than the fact that every time I watch it, I go, I don't know why it's taken me this long to rewatch you magnificent bastard.
Yeah, it's Christian Slater in it as well. Like, he doesn't do much wrong.
But Christian Slater from 1988 through to about 97 is about as perfect as you get.
Mm. I was talking to my parents the other day, and they were saying about watching Mr. Robot, and I was like, I can't do anything Rami Malek related. I just can't. He's broken for me. And they're like, oh, that other chap's in it. That other chap, what's he called? Oh, hang on a sec. And then they did a bit of digging around, like, oh, Christian Slater. I was like, oh, well, maybe I do need to watch it.
Yeah, he's literally Mr. Robot.
But Rami Malek.
Book TV. Ian, what have you been watching?
I've been watching a lot of video reviews of Death Stranding, but it's a video game, so...
That and literally that little synopsis you said, I was like, is he joking? Is that what it's really about? And it is what it's really about.
I feel like if you're watching this many video reviews of it, you just need to play the game.
I think I'm going to end up rebuying a PlayStation and fucking buying it. I sold a bunch of shit over the last weekend because eBay had like a maximum £1 selling fees thing. So I do have a bit of spare cash, and Lottie is very much like, she's been seeing the ads for the new Plants vs Zombies game, and she fucking loved the last one. So she's...
I thought you were going to say you were going to get her going on Death Stranding.
Death Stranding, God no. No, Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare, she's fucking all over that game, and the new one she really wants, but it's not on the Switch. So I could see that happening. Bless her, she said, you could sell some of my things if we can buy a PlayStation. It was like, oh, bless you lots. I'm not going to do that. But Death Stranding, rainwater turns into...
Christmas.
Sorry.
You could get one for Christmas.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. It's just, Death Stranding's kind of got me interested, and it's out on Friday.
Right.
There's a machine you use in it that turns rainfall into Monster Energy drink. I need to see that. I need to see why the fuck Mads Mikkelsen is in it, I need to see who Edgar Wright cameos as. I just like it sounds like an art house video game, but made on like a massive budget. It's
on a video game budget. It's mental, isn't it?
Yeah.
But like with a big video game budget, like it's not an indie game. It's Sony putting their full force behind it, being like, this is our big title for the holiday season. And it's a film about a delivery man. I mean, it's a game about a delivery man who has to avoid these spectral things that if they touch him, he will turn into a bomb. It like while also carrying a baby around. And apparently in the world of the game, other people who have played it can kind of like build bridges and leave items and stuff to help you, and you can give them likes. And it's basically because Kojima likes Twitter. So he's like, I'm just going to throw this in there, like a system where you can give people likes. And it just, but in this thing where you also have to use L2 and R2 to keep your balance. And it sounds like one of the most annoying things, but a thing where you will be playing it, being actively annoyed, but thinking, I can't fucking wait to see what's going to happen next. Like, I'm so intrigued by that game. I am so intrigued by it. And yet, I'm sure I would play it for a few hours and just be like, this is fucking bullshit.
You've got to just not do that, haven't you? With the games, you do hit a wall with them at certain points. Like I've just finished The Last of Us, and the last bit in the hospital, you're just rounding out to a certain point, but you have to play it. You just gotta fucking man up and go through that.
It's just time. That's all. It's my same old argument. It's the time. But then again, I've been playing like one of the reasons why I haven't watched as much as I usually have is I've been playing Luigi's Mansion 3 with Lottie over the last few days.
Yeah.
That's actually been really, really fun. So, I don't know. Anyway, I might talk about Death Stranding more next week. I might not. I haven't made up my mind yet. So I watched The Addams Family. Took Lottie to see that last weekend. Awful lot of Uncle Fester as sex pervert jokes, which was weird. Snoop Dogg plays Cousin It for no reason whatsoever. Very, very, very forgettable. Not bad, but just in one eye out the other. It's like 85 minutes long. Credits at the end feel quite long. Kind of feels like minimum effort required to make the film not be egregiously terrible was done, and mission achieved, basically. That's The Addams Family. There'll be a sequel, and it probably won't do that well.
It seems like the most pointless waste of a property.
Yeah, you could do loads with it, and Oscar Isaac and Charlize Theron are the fucking leads, for Christ's sake. I mean, that's a good lead cast.
It seems like Oscar Isaacs could do Gomez Addams, like
live action, yeah,
and people would want to watch that. So yeah, it just, I don't know. When it somebody mentioned it when the trailer came out, somebody mentioned it on Twitter, and I thought, oh, I didn't know they were making a, what is it? And then I clicked on it, I was like, oh, the shit is this balls?
Yeah. What the shit is this balls?
Yeah.
Yeah, what the shit is this balls? Okay, what else have I watched? Couple Disney films again with lots. Lilo and Stitch. I enjoy Lilo and Stitch.
You haven't seen Lilo and Stitch?
It's fun. Like
a few Disney films I've not seen.
No, not either.
Stitch is a laugh. He's just this like psychotic little alien that wants to destroy everything, who learns to love family and the music of Elvis Presley. It's a good time.
101 Dalmatians.
Sorry?
What about 101 Dalmatians?
Oh yeah, man. She had the best time with that.
Yeah.
That film's just lovely. Like classical Disney animals all helping each other. I was kind of surprised by how little Cruella de Vil is actually in it.
Yeah, not in it an awful lot.
No.
Yeah, like she kind of pops up in those like first bits where it's like where are the puppies, and then stealing the puppies, and she's not in it for like a half hour, 40 minutes, and then she kind of comes into it at the end. But even then, she's not in it that much. I mean, her downfall was basically just driving down a cliff, and then she's done. Yeah, I don't know, and I stuck on the live action remake straight after, and she lasted 5 minutes and just said, "Can I watch the cartoon one again?" So just put it back on for her, and she pretty much watched the whole thing again over.
I don't blame her. The live action thing I thought was just crap.
Yeah, I mean, like it just if something's animated, she's like 80% more likely to actually sit there and watch the thing. So, rewatched Moneyball, which looks great in 4K on iTunes, and just is a treat, really.
It's such a high quality grade of film. Moneyball.
Yeah.
All the acting, it's spot on. The script is fantastic. The actual filmmaking, it's just it's everybody who is involved in it is really good at what they do, so it's really good.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I really like how human it is as well. The Billy being like they're getting the 20 game streak, and then at the end he's just like, but what's it for if you don't win the championship? I like, and it's kind of depressing, but it's true. And it's like when they don't make it through the playoffs, and then that you got the commentary just saying like, he tried to show that baseball can be changed. Baseball can't be changed. Blah 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 blah. But it's like his legacy has kind of been imprinted by the way that baseball then changed after it.
Yeah, it was the idea was the whole idea about it was that a little team can do this, and then what happened was the Red Sox when and John Henry went right. We're gonna take that and we're gonna use it, and that's how they won their first World Series in God knows how many years, was by basically going, well, we're gonna do that, but we can do it more expensive, and an expensive version of it, so we can use it to win because we can take all the good bits and the bits we don't need to, we won't, and it did change the way that baseball was done, but maybe not the way that he wanted to change it to be to it was done.
No, and I mean, in the end of the day, he turned down an offer to join the Red Sox, didn't he? Because he wanted to do it with the Oakland A's, and it's heartbreaking that he hasn't been able to. It's
that's it. It was that was the thing. It was the whole. Yeah. No matter what, he was never going to be able to compete with the sheer amount of money that the Yankees and the Red Sox have.
Yep, quite. But yeah, no, it's very, very, very high class filmmaking. Looks great as well. Wally Pfister doing the cinematography, and it's just.
Gosh, yeah, isn't it?
Well, it just looks so fucking good. But yeah, Moneyball. And that's it for me. Like I say, had been playing quite a lot of Switch with Lots in my downtime, because when she's around, she has control of the TV, so it's been hard to like get other things in all fairness. But I'm sure that I'll have a fair bit next week. Sue, Twitter questions. What we got?
I think we've only got one. I think. Oh, so Bex is clattering around with something. Bex? Yeah. We're just doing Twitter questions, babe. Ethan M. Barr, I forgot to ask a question out to our audience today, so I apologise for that. Because when I was sending out the tweets, I was just about to set off for work, and then I just completely forgot. Ethan Barr, I haven't seen it, but did get a Terminator, and although it was fantastic, I enjoyed my time with it. Not sure how I was response to the Terminator. What is it? Question I had was from Rick Kidd at Rick J Kidd. I watched Marc Camo's documentary on The Exorcist this morning, so my question for you this week is, what are your favourite documentary films?
So are we talking making of documentaries?
I think it just means general documentaries.
Oh, wow. Okay.
General documentaries, the Dear Zachary.
Oh, God, bloody hell. Yeah.
Harrowing as fuck, but magnificent.
I mean, if we're doing making ofs, it would be Hearts of Darkness for me.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons.
Yeah, making of probably Dangerous Days, the making of Blade Runner, that like 3.5 hour
God, yeah.
one that was on the Blu-ray, I believe it was. Fucking exhaustive and amazing.
If we're going making of, yeah, the Blade Runner one, but general documentaries.
Yeah, general documentary, Inside Job. I really, really like Inside Job. Any more?
I'm trying to think. How can I not fucking think?
Cave of Forgotten Dreams.
That's really good, yeah.
Yeah, Cave of Forgotten Dreams is fantastic.
Shit, what was that? What was that one about heavy metal? The anthropological look at heavy metal music. What's it called? What was it called? I'm just having to Google it. Heavy metal. Oh, for fuck's sake, Google. Documentary. It was called Metal Headbanger's Journey.
That is good, actually.
Yeah.
Mm.
Have you ever seen that, Ian?
Yeah.
It's great taking an anthropological look at how horror works and breaking down all the horror genres and stuff like that. The metal genres. It is great, even for somebody who is not a metal head, but likes some metal.
Yeah.
It was really, really quite interesting. I went through a spate at one point of watching a shitload of documentaries for about 6 weeks a few years ago, where all I seemed to watch was documentaries, and I don't watch enough of them nowadays.
I did the same thing actually when I used to work at the fireplace shop, and we used to have and had the majority of my day to myself, and then I watched Dear Zachary, and I've not watched many since because it broke me so badly. Have you seen it, Ian?
Dear Zachary, yeah, it's fucking horrific.
It's harrowing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Senna would be one for me. That one from earlier this year about the Fire Festival. Fucking amazing.
Yeah. Have you seen? He's been done again.
No.
Yeah.
What, the guy behind the Fire Festival?
Yeah, he's in prison at the moment.
Yeah.
He essentially has been running a telephone scam from prison. And his whole defence was, well, I shouldn't have even been allowed a phone, really, should I? So it's actually your fault. And they've gone, no, you've basically just admitted to having a phone that your entire defence was, how could he have a phone? He's in prison. And then you've said that out loud. Wow. Literally, apparently, his lawyer literally slapped his hand against his head when he started saying these things. Yep.
What an idiot.
Well, yeah.
Deary me. Right. Well, I think that's gonna do it. weirdly short show.
But then again, we think about we've got Dolemite Is My Name to go into it, and
Dark Fate, yeah.
As well. So it feels short. We've actually had quite a lot. It's going to be a longer show than this section.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right.
What are we covering next week, Ian?
Fuck knows. What's out? I can't even.
Let's have a look. Let's have a check.
There's some. God, I know there's something.
Is it Charlie's Angels or is that weeks away? Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, piss off.
Oh, that's right. Midway,
that's it. It's the Aeronauts, a movie that nobody wants to see. Midway, or The Good Liar. What the fuck is Driven?
That Good Liar looks quite good. Is that the Helen Mirren one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's Ford versus Ferrari in a few.
Le Mans 66.
In a few weeks.
I think I'm seeing that tomorrow. There's a secret screening at Cineworld, and I think it's that. I'm really looking forward to Le Mans 66.
It's that Emilia Clarke Christmas bullshit, you know it.
If it's last Christmas, I'll have to leave because I'm gonna go see that with Donna the weekend it comes out.
Did you not have the time though? This thing or the certificate?
Yeah, but they basically say they won't let anyone who's under 15 in, but they give a dummy time every time. The only it's funny because there's always Twitter discussions whenever Cineworld do a secret screening. There's always like little Twitter threads that come up about it, and the thinking is this is starting at 7:30, which would indicate that it's probably going to be a longer film. And if it's going to be a longer film, the thinking is it's either Le Mans 66 or Last Christmas. But Le Mans 66 is a good half hour longer. So I'm thinking. Sorry?
45 minutes longer it is.
Yeah, there you go. So I'm thinking it's going to be Le Mans 66 because, if it was Last Christmas, 7:30's quite early to start off like a main evening screening. So I don't think it would be Last Christmas because they wouldn't get as much of an audience for it. I think they've got to stick it on earlier because it's a longer film, and that would be because it's Le Mans 66.
Yeah, I'm actually really looking forward to Last Christmas, and I like Paul Feig. I'm perfectly happy with spending some time with Emilia Clarke in something where she doesn't have to be an action star. And I like the music of George Michael. So I'm actually really quite looking forward to it, and it's a Christmas movie. I'm looking forward to all of those things.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. I'll go and see it. It's 2 weeks' time. That's when everyone will start getting a little bit Christmassy. So fuck it, you fucking Grinch.
No, I'm not a Grinch.
You're a fucking bit of Grinch.
I should don't start watching Christmas movies until December.
That's fine. This is in a cinema, so it's different.
That is different.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
So midway next week.
Yeah, I'll go midway. Nice big Roland Emmerich bombastic war movie.
Which feels like it's got absolutely no heat behind it whatsoever.
Literally, we all forgot it was out.
I hadn't even seen a trailer for it in the cinema yet.
I've seen one trailer in the cinema, but it was a good few weeks ago.
It's really weird that it just seems to be coming, because it doesn't look like it cost a tenner. It looks like there was some money behind it.
Not make cheap movies.
No, quite. No, fascinating. So yeah, we'll have midway next week, and that'll do it. I'm gonna watch The King as well, the Timothée Chalamet, David Michôd one. So I'll talk about that
I think I'm gonna watch that at some point this week.
I'll probably watch that with you. I'll probably go see Midway.
Sorry?
No, I was just saying I'll probably do The King but I probably won't go see Midway.
Okay, fair enough. Mark and I can sort Midway.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, and that will do it for this week. So thank you very much for listening, folks. Patreon.com/filmbastards. Jordan McGrath and I are recording the next part of the Ian's Guide to Bondage. He's going to join me to talk Goldfinger. That will be up towards the end of the week, I think. And that is, $2 a month, patreon.com/filmbastards. That'll do it for this week. Thank you very much for listening, and goodbye.
Don't forget to check out wearePodSyndicate.com.
Indeed.
As we are a Pod Syndicate podcast. So please check out that. There's some great writing on there. Mike Chinstroker versus Punter has put the first in his series of a look back at 80s TV, etc. on there. That's really good. And Jason from Entertainment Landfill has got his first incident of the Witcher book series, because the Witcher series is on to Netflix, I believe, the next couple of weeks. Yeah, there's some really good writing on there, and plus there's a whole host of great podcasts on there. Not quite as good as this one, but there is some great stuff on there, including Noel's Beyond the Neon for Satanic Panic, which is I'm a little bit of the way through and is really fucking good. So yeah, please check out that guy. Follow us on Twitter at PodSyndicate.
And that'll do it. Thank you very much, guys, and have a good night, or day, or whenever the fuck you're listening to it. Bye-bye.
Over now, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
He think he's bad and ain't got no class. I'm gonna rock this shotgun up his motherfucking ass. What the shit is this?
I can dig it.
What the shit is this?
I can dig it.
Bitch, are you for real? That's for fucking with me, you no business born insecure motherfuckers! 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 Oh shit. What the hell did that rat suit eating motherfucker want with me? He think he's bad and ain't got no class. I'm gonna rock this shotgun up his motherfucking ass. Motherfuckers! Bitch, are you for real? Motherfuckers!